Happy Friday, everybody. Of course, we're kicking off the weekend the best way possible. Welcome here to Series Z Halo Infinite. We're closing out Excedrin week today. My name is Yeso, and I'm excited to be here for our second Halo Infinite Pro Night of the season. 4 teams here to duke it out for cash and glory, and it's going to be a hell of a day. Excited to have you in. Welcome. For those of you that may be new to what we're doing here at Series Z and kind of how things work, I want to break it down for you all. Okay, Series Z is a professional esports open circuit that absolutely anyone can join across multiple different titles. We've got Apex Legends, we've got Guilty Gear Strive, and of course, Halo Infinite. Now, the way things work is teams and players come out, they compete in our open qualifiers. The best of the best from those open qualifiers make it into Series Z. Now, what does it mean then for the players? Well, they get to sign a contract, they get sponsored by one of our partnered brands, they make a monthly salary, and they get to compete weekly for points and prize money. In Halo Infinite, it's every Monday night where they play in an open bracket against pros and open teams alike. And then every Friday, they compete against just pro squads, some of the best around. So if you and your friends want to get in on the action, head over to matcharena.com/ESA. You can also use exclamation point sign up in Twitch chat right now. And if you have any more questions, need more information, esportsarena.com has you covered. Now we're coming into tonight. Esports Arena Red and Blue have had a bit of a tough start to the season, but there's going to be some growing pains. These are newer, fresher players looking to grow, looking to kind of push their way into the scene. And when you're playing against the kinds of teams they've competed against so far this season, it's going to be tough. But I think the progression is there. They're going to have a big opportunity here today. KCP is in the building. Piggy is back with a newly revamped squad, which should be fun. And then, of course, the 2 squads. So we'll have to see what they can do here tonight. They had a rough start to the week. Neither team making top 8 on Monday, but they'll have a shot to make things happen here tonight. We also got my good friends Shyway and Clutch. I'm repping the CLG swag for you, Clutch. I know you're an old CLG man, so here repping it for you here today. But they'll be covering all the action tonight during our games, and I'll be here to break things down in between. Production let me know that we are ready to get things underway, so let's not waste any more time. Let's kick off our second Pro Night here for the second season of Series Z Halo Infinite.
It's good to be back. Hello and welcome back to Esports Arena, your regularly scheduled program. I'm excited for the competition we got coming up here. I'm Shyway. Again, great to have my man Tony. We have some great action today.
16 is his KD right now. So we do
some information on that player. Finally finds him hiding in the corner, ends up getting the double melee. Luckily, JK putting his body on the line. Gold Star beyond
resources, 37 and counting, making 38. It just seems like they're in their heads. Hello and welcome to our second Series E Pro Night. Of course, it's Excedrin week as well. It's Halo Friday. It's just a good day to experience some high-level Halo. Very quick and clean show today. I can't wait to get into it. Of course, I'm Shyway. I've got Clutch back with me once again. How you doing, Clutch? Welcome back.
Doing good. Happy Friday. Weekend's in front of us, and why not kick it off with a little bit of Halo?
Exactly. Couldn't agree more. Let's take a look at the format, by the way, real quick, just so you, in case you don't know, you will know now by the end of this, of course. There's only 4 teams invited in today's tournament. Every single matchup is a best of 5, and it's single elim. So only 3 best of 5 matches today in total, and a $500 prize pool as well. Winner take all. That's it. You win, you get all $500. A great opportunity, of course, for ESA Red and ESA Blue, our sponsored teams, to get some high caliber competition. And Wes, they've got some pretty great competition today.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Pioneers, the name speaks for itself. If you pay attention to the competitive Halo scene, you know that these guys are on the come up, have been since Halo 5, have always been large participants in the EA tournament. So it's great for them to once again show their hands here. And I mean, if they do anything in the esports tournaments, you know they have success. So Soul Snipe, Drug Talk, Manny, we're looking at you to come out guns a-blazing, and like you said, high-quality practice when you get an opportunity to play against those guys. Great tournament opportunity in order to get those best-of-5s, the flows, the ebbs that you get to ride, potentially some momentum there. And if you're able to create an upset, that can do wonders for your team going forward and into other tournaments in the future. Also, Catalyst. I mean, you can't leave them out of the conversation. Right. They've had very strong performances as of recently. Alex Shock is one of those players that's really starting to pop up everywhere And I'm excited to get another opportunity to watch this guy play because I feel like every single time he gives me a memorable play that says, man, this Alex Shot kid, he might have what it takes.
I think Monday it was a ninja, wasn't it? I think it was top attic at the doorway. I think he got a crazy ninja. I'm trying to remember what the play was specifically, but like you said, he's always got something cooking. So you're right. I can't wait to see Alex Shock. Of course, we've also got ESA Red, ESA Blue, big opportunity for them to take on these top teams. And like you said, Pioneers, a very high level competitor. One of the few teams not impacted by roster mania, which is interesting. You know, it makes me assume that as time goes by, they only continue to get better and better as they hold on to that chemistry. Not too many teams get to stick together at this point in Halo, it seems.
It's difficult, and it's always been like that. Attrition. It's everybody wanting to compete for a world championship at the end of the year, and progression ladders along the way. What gives you the best opportunity at that big prize pool, at that championship that means more than all the money that you could give me? And at the end of the day, as a competitor, I was always about trying to get a ring and trying to be solidified as one of the greats. So I'm sure that that's the journey everybody in this tournament wants to be on, some further away than others, but it's always nice when you can do it with the right group, your friends, this core group that you built yourself up with. And I'm always a big advocate of the status quos of the world, the Believe the Hypes of the world that did it their way, right? They didn't join a powerhouse like a Kevin Durant to the Warriors style of an opportunity. But I mean, everybody's got to find their own direction, and it starts with just a day-to-day grind. This is just another day that they're able to check off that they did their homework, they did their work for the day, they showed up, showed out, and like you said at the start, just good practice for these guys. I have a lot of familiarity with the ESA Blue players, not as much with the ESA Red team. So I'm excited to see potentially some new young talent as well as known talent that I already know of, and see if they can step up and make plays that maybe they haven't in the past. So a lot of good things here for this 4-team bracket.
Definitely on the same boat with ESA Red as well. I think that's kind of the beauty of it, is the spotlight for some of these new players that we haven't seen too much of yet. I mean, just yesterday, Collect popping off on SSG. I think, you know, he took that moment, owned that moment. This is another little moment, I think, for our ESA teams. Like you said, there's Nexusor, Too Nice, Ixana, and Ampium, players that aren't super well known in the Halo community just yet. And, you know, maybe this is where things start to change. We got our series layout in front of us, though, Wes. Of course, a best of 5 series. It looks like CTF, Aqua, Slayer, Streets, Strongholds, Live Fire, Oddball, Streets, and Slayer Recharge. And they reset it, so we're good. It is Catalyst and ESA Red for our first match of the day. Very curious to see how this one goes. Of course, we talked about ESA Red just coming into it, right? New players don't know what to expect.
Yeah, absolutely. I think when you look at this, you got to favor Catalyst, but ESA Red, it only takes one day, one best of 5 to really make your name known in the scene, I feel. Once you put off a very strong performance, if you're able to create this upset, people start talking. The grapevine starts to get a little bit bigger, right? So very excited for the opportunity these guys have, and I would love an opportunity early in this series to showcase a lot of their point of views, to see how they're able to hold up in the one-on-one battles, how fast are they playing, get an idea for who these players are, their play styles. So it allows us to paint the picture. I know we probably ran into a technical difficulty there, but I mean, Shyway, as we take a look at the series layout, I love the fact that we're getting an Aquarius CTF. Typically, that's going to go the distance. If it doesn't go the distance in time, it's because one team executed phenomenally in the objective play. And if a team is able to do that, either one of these two teams, honestly, if they're able to put 5 flags on the board, that's an impressive exclamation point to start this series off with. Then you're looking at 2 streets in the next 4 games across the series. And you hope that these 2 teams have done their homework on streets, because having 2 of the same map can really benefit you if you are an extremely strong map dependent team. I think when I think of map modes in the past in Halo, it's not necessarily the mode on the map that necessarily matters to the teams. It's the maps that these players feel comfortable on more so than ever. So I think streets could benefit one of these 2 teams depending on their play styles.
I agree. And I think it's nice that we see streets in game 2 and not game 5 as far as Slayer goes as well. I think that's a good spot to have a bounce back game depending on how game 1 goes. Like you said, you know, very straightforward, could go the distance, could go to time. Then we get to streets, that never goes to time, right? Streets tends to be lopsided, tends to be very fast-paced, and if a team, you know, comes out with a loss, let's say game 1, they have an opportunity to really bounce back in game 2, whereas Recharge Slayer, to close the series, if we get there, tends to be much more of a slow burn, much more of a setup-oriented type of Slayer. So I think we get potentially a very closely contested Game 5 if we make it to 5 games in the series. Either way, it should be an exciting one, I think, the whole way through. Catalyst, we know they played well. They were, I believe, a top 3 team in our last tournament, West. They kind of plowed through that lower bracket and really, showed their stuff. So we've seen plenty of them. I think we know what to expect. ESA Red and Blue, I don't know if they made it to top 8 in Monday, to be honest. I believe they were there, but we didn't get to cast their games. So they might have, underperformed for their expectations. Even having this exhibition might be, a bit of a run back, bit of a, another chance at maybe a rematch to really showcase that they can hang.
Yeah, one of the things I want to talk about is Catalyst's opportunity on Monday and the run that they went on. Like you said, they were phenomenal on Monday. They looked so impressive, creating several upsets along the way. The big question mark for me is how consistently can they play at that high level? Because a big question mark for a lot of up-and-coming semi-pro professional teams that are at the back end of that list really find struggle in their ability to consistently play at a high level. Oftentimes you see individuals popping off here or there in a certain series or whatnot, but maybe not so much consistently on a day-to-day. So if they can come out hot, that would mean a lot to me for this Catalyst team. For ESA Red, like you're saying, you want to see a strong performance out of them, but unfortunately already going 3 down, and it looks like complete map control. Going to be in the benefit of Alex Shock and the boys that they started this one off hot.
Yep, the team coming out hot, definitely Catalyst this time around. Flag already in hand through Car's side. Precision with another kill on the board and one slight change in that roster as well, right? We didn't see Precision on Monday. We had Mortally, I believe, instead of him. So just an opportunity once again for a bit of a switch up that may or may not benefit them. So far, I mean, they're right next to the flag post with this little goal line stand does come in. Is there enough time and numbers to get to it? Looks like they will get a touch and potentially the return here.
Yeah, Precision picks up a big double, and I think that double is going to award that cap going into Catalyst's hands. So it's an early flag cap, and I said if either one of these two teams gets to 5, that would be an impressive statement, right? Everybody in this lobby is pretty good. It's a matter of how good are they at executing the objective. Already Catalyst showing you some execution, but speaking of execution, 4 dead for Catalyst. So ESA Red, they get the slays they need. They're going to get a realistic opportunity at a flagpole here as they're able to get it into the closet as players are coming up off respawn, and this is an awesome chance for ESA Red to now get a counter cap and tie this one up.
What you like to see, ESA Red going blow for blow here, and I love the play to turn around, ensure the slays here. Ixana with a cluster lock there, 2 dead to the nade. That should open up some free space for just about a guaranteed flag cap. There is one more. Precision you can see in the back of the base. It does get picked off by Ixana as well. So popping off early on here. Ixana 6-4, and his team now, thanks to that, they've tied the game.
Nice double kill with the grenades from Ixana, and that basically guaranteed the cap in and of itself, setting 3 players on respawn as that flag was on the move. A phenomenal answer and an important answer from ESA Red to stay in this one, tie it up very quickly, and now we're seeing battles go down at ESA Red's flag. It's a big one-on-one win from Ampium once again in order to defend his base. And now look at that. He's able to recycle the dynamo grenades. Got all of Catalyst stuck either back their flag or top pink. You're in a very strong position right now if you're ESA Red to get a few kills, get another flag on the move.
In a situation you want to see him stay alive as well. What a great use of his life top mid to just jiggle peek that fight and then get a second kill on the Piggy. Couple overextenders going to try to make it to flag here as it moves through Car. You can see 2 Nice now running it. Those last 2 players on the Catalyst, the fight going to go down in the feed there. Kyle Groovy does come out with 1. Nexi with the trade. So numbers thinning down here. Flag still has a bit of a ways to go. And Ixana, he's going to be the one to help it get there.
Still on the moves. Not punched in quite yet, though. Defense needs to stand strong for Catalyst if they want to keep this one tied, and it just can't get there in time. ESA Red are going to take the lead. Now for a bunch of unknown players to come out and take the lead this early in game 1. I love what we're seeing out of ESA Red already. And it's on the back of 2 Nice and Ampiums, both leading the lobby with 9 kills.
Strong opening performance from them, but of course, plenty of time on the board for things to change here. Ixana gonna have to turn on a dime there, gets taken down. That's 2 dead on ESA Red. In the meantime, Precision up on top mid looking to cut off Car side. He's going to do just that on the 2 Nice. Big win out of him. That's going to give him a slight opportunity to get back to the base here. Looks like the flag is not far, though, right? It's still sitting out courtyard. 2 dead once again. Those are 2 Nice. Surviving in this situation, important. But I think with the full team down, minus Nexi, this one's looking a little chalked.
The idea was right from 2 Nice. He was in a very poor position to try and deny that flag. but the flag carrier was no shield, just couldn't quite hit the headshot. And because of that, he wasn't able to stagger the run. The Slays come through for Catalyst. They're able to tie this one up 2-2.
Oh my, that was the camo, I think, that just came in through that door as well. Camo heatwave combo.
Heatwave.
That's a great way to impact the blue base. Too nice going to turn as well. See if he can take the fight there onto Alex Shock. Alex Shock going to come out on top. That flag out once again. Very quick run here at a Catalyst. So what was a deficit no longer. They're starting to lock things down. You can tell they've got the pace in their hands.
Pace in their hands, and the lead also back in favor of Catalyst. 3-2. 7 minutes on the clock, so plenty of time. But, I mean, Shyway, I think there's something to be said. Not a lot of defense being played so far in this game. A lot of offense, though. 5 flags already capped between the two teams here with 7 minutes left. It's not often you see that kind of execution on the offensive end. It's almost the defense that you have to start to question from both these two teams. The flag once again on the move for Catalyst. For ESA Red, they're coming off spawn. It's a big 1v1 win over towards the pink. It is unfortunately cleaned up, and Alex Shock, he smells blood in the water. He spots another player that's weak pink side, and he just denies that player from being able to advance. And in the meantime, the 4th flag for Catalyst has gone in, and it's on the back of Alex Shock. I mean, the player we highlighted coming in. He's got 17 to his name, and he just added another one to his hit list, as that 17 kills this early on just does so much work for this Catalyst team.
Hell of an impact for sure. And like you said about defense, we're not seeing a lot of it because of these plays. ESA Red just trying to find a little opening for themselves. I'm not sure if it's just, poor timing on their deaths. I think that's definitely part of it. Or even just kind of telegraphing their plays, right? Knowing they're spawning up pink side and getting caught with their pants down because of it. Either way, you can see they're now forced back to car. Big pickup thanks to Nexi. You can bait and switch onto Alec here and make that a double. That hopefully will open up some space to get the flag of their own.
Good decision by Nexusar not to challenge there. He needs to get to the enemy base, needs to try and get a flag on the move. They're going to force the pink spawns, but they're hesitant on getting the flagpole into the closet, and because of that, you wonder if a player is going to be able to get back into the flag and interrupt this, and that's the player I'm talking about on screen now. He's thrown a couple of grenades. It's Alex Shock, and Alex Shock, he finds one, Precision finds another, and because they hesitated for just a moment, Shaway, they gave up their opportunity, and look at that. Catalyst seized the opportunity themselves. They get a 5th and final flag cap on the move, throw it up the bridge, and even though they've lost 2 members, it's not enough to stop this flag from getting punched in. That's going to be a 5-2 victory here in game 1 off the back of a very strong performance from Alex Shock and the boys on Catalyst.
Slays, I think the biggest difference maker in that one, it was 18-8, I think, at Alex Shock, and then his teammates, I think one was 13-12. Just trying to take a peek at the game. Of course, we've got a bit of a time delay to work with, but definitely outslaying towards the midpoint in the game. We talked about a lot of aggression, not a lot of defense, even really on both sides. Like, what was great to see out of ESA Red was the very quick counter caps out of them. They would get the round to Slays, be very efficient on their runs. Unfortunately, that just fell apart towards the midpoint in the game. It was just all aggro out of a Groovy and team. They'd win their fights and just seemed like easy openings from there. I think the biggest thing you pointed out, though, was the little hesitation on that flagpole. I think you called that perfectly. Just be waiting in that base and not making the decision as quickly as they did. They allow Alex Shock, who split spawns out, to get to base and slow them down right from behind.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest issues we ran into there from both teams, but more so ESA Red, was when one player dies on your team, how many of the rest of your team dies, right? And consistently we saw if the first kill went to Catalyst, it was almost a guaranteed that 4 were going to go down for ESA Red. And what that does to your map control, to your potential to be able to stop a flag cap. The best teams in the world, what they're able to do is they're able to stay alive long enough to where the entire map isn't at the disposal of the enemy team when they first lose numbers, right? You got to figure out a way to trade out kills to make sure that they don't get a full opportunity to take absolute map control paired with like a flag run anchored with another player in the closet. Like, trades are important, and being able to at least minimize the damage that's already done is a key benefit that some of the best teams in the world are able to execute. It's not easy, especially in Halo Infinite, when you have numbers, you're able to fly and you're able to just progress on the map so quickly in order to turn numbers advantage into further numbers advantage. But you got to figure out ways to do it if you want to have a little bit more success. And ESA Red, clearly, when they had an opportunity to have map control themselves, they were successful. But when not, we saw the collapse of ESA Red.
Hopefully for ESA Red, they don't get collapsed on here off this opening strat, because you can see it's starting to happen on Subway already. The aggressive plays, a catalyst off of game 1. You can tell they're looking to carry that aggro into game 2 here. Feeling it in the back of Subway. Multiple going to drop. 3, make it 4 now on the side of Catalyst as they wipe the entire team. And another nade in the red room just to add insult to injury. You can tell they are on a different level of momentum coming into game 2 here.
Feeling themselves, gaining some momentum. And we saw what this team was able to do with momentum on Monday. Scary thought, and you know they want to ride that momentum. They know KCP is in this 4-team tournament. They want a chance to take down KCP, a very strong North American team in the tier of the top dogs of the HCS scene. In order to do that, they're going to have to finish off the CSA Red team, and we'll see how quietly in the night the CSA Red team wants to go. Ikshana with 3 kills of his own so far for the game, but needs a little bit of help from his team in the swaying department in order to get the job done. And already a 12-4 lead shows me that Catalyst has been able to transition their early map control and continue to snowball that into even more so of a lead from there on out.
Which is worrisome for ESA Red, especially with the way that Streets tends to work. You got to try to cut your losses quickly here and hopefully pick up a trade in this situation, but Alex Shock making it impossible. That's 2 dead. 16 now to 5 as things starting to fall apart. You wonder, is too nice in this situation. Maybe his objective is, I can clean up a weak kill, hopefully, and get a trade to slow this down. But he commits himself so far.
Oh,
that
Piggy.
By the time he's in the action, he's going to get cleaned up. And like you said, Piggy, popping off now as well. 19 kills already for Catalyst.
Yeah, Piggy just popping off, getting a nice 1v2 over there towards the cafe on screen, using grenades so efficiently. They can be such a power weapon in the right hands in Halo Infinite, and Piggy puts them to use there. Speaking of power weapons, rockets came up, and that's a massive win condition that you would have to say ESA Red need to control. Unfortunately, it's just a trade with the first set of rockets. Only one of them are going to be left in the chamber, and if you're ESA Red, you need to figure out a way to stop this game from continuing to go against you. Unfortunately, Catalyst have no intention of letting that happen. They are all starting to steamroll.
Ampium, last one alive on his team. You can see his teammates starting to split spawn out PD side as they get ripped off spawn immediately. Just seems like there's no hope no matter what POV we land on. Nexi with a nice little double out of the nade there. Too nice. Can clean up a third. They got to watch out for that shotgun, though. That's precision with it. 2 kills on the feed. He's going to get aggressive again. That's his 3rd kill in a row. At this point, 30-14, a massive hill to climb for ESA Red. And I want to say it's not impossible, but I've seen no signs that things will improve here so far, Wes.
It really isn't impossible, but like you're saying, it almost requires a level of structure that you're not sure if ESA Red are capable of at this point in their Halo careers, right? The best teams in the world, they may be able to gain control and snowball it to that degree, but to be that efficient, you have to be on top of your game in so many different levels, and unfortunately, it's near impossible to replicate. Right now, you're seeing Ikshana try to stay alive with this Bulldog shotgun. Unfortunately, Piggy, he's going to spot him out as he was crouching in that corner. He's going to get a nice kill onto him, and that's allowed Precision to flank with this Sentinel beam. He finds himself a double, so every bit of the sandbox being put to work by this Catalyst team, and it's immediately reflected in the scoreline now. 38-20, up 18 kills, just 12 needed to close this one out.
Yeah, every bit of the sandbox, whether he's shooting the gun or meleeing with it as well, right? Because he was just brawling over on the vending machine where Piggy is currently. Piggy looking to collapse up on the subway here as well. You can see the rockets just whipping past him, so Catalyst in control of power weapons once again here. Piggy going to make him feel the pain. Ampium did pick up 1. It's not enough. It's too little too late at this point. 41 on the board. Looking to clean up the final 9 kills, and you can just feel the confidence in the play of Catalyst as they get very aggressive, without a care here. Might make a couple of mistakes in the process, and Too Nice will let them feel it.
Nice individual kill from Too Nice there. Wasn't quite sure if he was going to be able to collect that one, but he does just that. Unfortunately, he's continuously being just kept weak from these frags. That one just barely misses him. The Bulldog shotgun is such a good weapon to have in that situation, but not when there's 2 players. And unfortunately, you're just seeing Catalyst smother the members of ESA Red. They know this one is over if they can continue to be aggressive, trade out their damage. And that's exactly what the executed plan looks like right now. Just one more kill for the steak dinner, and ESA Red.
Damn.
They're going to have to pull off a reverse sweep if they want to take this series, because Catalyst, they've answered very strongly to the early aggression of ESA Red since game 1. They have taken the series to a 2-0 lead.
See, coming into this series layout, I had looked at Streets game 2, Slayer, from an optimistic perspective, where if a team loses, it's an opportunity to bounce back because of the way that the map tends to snowball. What I didn't think about, which, the obvious alternative, is that you just get obliterated twice, and any momentum that you might have had in game 1 is completely snuffed out in game 2. And here we are looking at the end of a series potentially already if Catalyst keeps up this level of pain, basically, Wes. So, unfortunate for ESA Red. Of course, they're no strangers to being in positions like this. So here's hoping they can, regain, kind of put that behind them, focus on what's next, and what's next, live fire strongholds.
The potential for this to be a very quick game is very high, in my opinion. I think if ESA Red want to create an upset here, they're going to have to start off much differently than we've seen in the past 2 games. You need a strong start here. It probably starts by getting that first set of overshield and potentially that S7. I think Catalyst just have so much momentum, especially after their performance from Monday. They have shown that they're coming here to play today. I think that they look phenomenal. They look very similar to what they were doing Monday. And as I said, one of the things some of the amateur teams struggle with in the history of Halo is just consistency. It doesn't look like that consistency bug is going to rear its head, at least in the series for Catalyst. And you can see the confidence and the momentum because of their level to play at that consistent, high pace, high quality, right? I think that that's a beautiful thing for these guys to be able to consistently perform at. And looking forward to this game 3. I don't want to see them slip up on the side of Catalyst, but I would like to see ESA Red make this competitive. So we're going to get into gameplay, and already Ampium has found himself the F7. Okay. Let's see what he's able to do with it. Unfortunately, after pulling out his BR for that kill, he's taken down. And Overshield is going to be up momentarily. We'll see who prioritizes it and not the strongholds.
You can see them running in 2s to get to C as well. Nothing Too Nice can do in that situation to really challenge it. So great little back down. He's got an opportunity to work with a teammate for the OS. Big pickup onto Kyle. And with that pickup comes a little gift for a second here, too. There's a snipe down top tower. So Too Nice just controlling everything he would need in this situation. I believe the OS should go to them as well.
Good job staying alive here if you're Too Nice. I almost spoke too early here. Heat Wave and S7 in hand, so you got the entire power of live fire in your hands. You get one player to no shield, you get a second kill, but still, I'd like to see him stay alive top tower there with those power weapons. Maybe in a less vulnerable position to not trade his life in that situation, but you are going to be needing more from your teammates there. As far as damage dealt, you had a perfect opportunity to kill a few unsuspecting players. Unfortunately, just the timing didn't play out right. And right now, Catalyst, even though it's not the strongest start from them, they look like they're going to have map control. And with it, a couple bullets in this S7 in the hands of Piggy as well.
Yeah, even early on, you can see the gap slowly being created, even in the Slays category. Maybe the snipe will add to that, too. He did get the kill on the Ampy, and we got a little pause at our end. Didn't quite get to see it, but the man sniped accurately as expected.
Good shots by Precision. So far, he's a player I don't know a ton about, but playing fairly well here in this best of 5, up 2-0. Typically, you got to be playing phenomenal. And speaking of phenomenal, Piggy was 7, but Too Nice was 7. Piggy was 6, Too Nice was 7 of his own. So he's having a much better game 3. Unfortunately, it's not enough right now to change the score line as he gets taken down right there. And that's a pivotal 1v1 as there is an overshield that player that slides into A, and they're trying to push the trip cap now. Our Catalyst is, they're up over 60 points. The question from here, Shaway, is how long will ESA Red allow this trip cap to partake? Will they be able to get the Slays to get out of it? Too Nice plans a double just as I say that.
Which would hopefully be the answer they're looking for. But the remaining 2 players doing a great job of living, getting trades they need here. Too Nice with a 3rd pickup. 10 to his name, by the way. Make it 11 as he is single-handedly popping off here, doing what he can.
He's trying out here.
Yeah, doing what he can for the team to just slow the roll of Catalyst, which seems inevitable at this point. Already 108.
He gets
on
away.
The board to work with. Ikshana gonna let, or he didn't let him. He can't finish the man in this situation. It's little spots like that where Catalyst will make miles out of out of those opportunities.
Yeah, that's not a little spot. That's a much-needed kill. You got to secure kills like that and on time. One of the things Cloud used to preach to me when he first started teaming with me was the difference between hitting that last headshot before that player turns the corner and then the play after that where you're forced to go hunting for him. And even if you eventually kill him, your timing is off. Your ability to help somewhere else is off because you weren't able to hit that shot. So crucial kills like that need to get cleaned up in order for your timing to be on. Speaking of timing's on, Alex shot, hits the no-scope as he's just playing as aggressive as possible. 3 dead. It was 4 dead momentarily for ESA Red, and Catalyst with the overshield coming up here shortly. Had this lead, and Kyle Groovy saying he can show us something special as well.
One hell of a way to enter that fight. Unfortunately, he did not get that OS. I think it will sit down on the floor there. Too nice in the meantime. Still doing his thing, right? 12 kills to his name. He is hanging. That should give him access to B. That sniper was out of ammo. It's the OS that we didn't get to see picked up. It could be Catalyst with it. I'm sure we'll find out in a second. Too nice, not worried about that, though. Just playing D. There goes Groovy. 2 more victims out front. Making a double on a precision. Going to have to try his hand at staying alive behind Pillar. Nexy hopefully here to pick up on the damage, though.
Unfortunately, he's going to have to back out. That was 3 dead for ESA Red. Catalyst once again with numbers advantage. They're able to recapture B in their favor, and now with the BC setup, looking to push over 200 points, but they're also looking to push into A. They want the trip cap. They smell aggressiveness right here. You can tell how confident these guys are playing because every single time it's like they get to weigh a decision. Do we play safe or do we go for the trip cap? They have favored to go for the trip cap so far in this match.
Just trying to figure out what aggressiveness smells like. Wes, it sounds sweaty. I don't know. In the meantime, Too Nice doing his thing. 16, by the way, outperforming everyone in the lobby currently. If he goes out, he goes out with a bang, is what it seems like. He'll take Piggy with him, too.
17, but just
oh my God,
not enough so far. Maybe a trip cap here, and that'd be the situation ESA Red need, in my opinion. Shall we? You're down almost 200 points. You got to figure out a way to keep a trip cap for a little bit. Unfortunately, as you're capping A, somehow B's gone. And the rotation to C is going to be a quick one from Catalyst. So Too Nice. He's going to be by himself over here at A. Needs to find a way to defend this one by himself. And unfortunately, just doesn't have the right angle to try and deal with that situation. It's just not enough DPS for him on that end. And although he's had a phenomenal game 3 here, this game 3 is going to end fairly shortly if ESA Red don't get off their spawn this next time and make plays.
I think he had the right idea on the back out there. Just got kind of stuck on the wall on his way out. Doesn't quite make it to the OS as well. Here we are at 232. Ixana with a clutch kill to get to the B cap. That'll slow things down a bit. At least pause the timer. Another pick up on the Piggy, but Piggy needs to live in B. Too Nice here to save the day. Groovy still gonna milk his life, but not gonna last long at this rate. If Too Nice has the best of him, I don't know how he hits the melee in that situation, but obviously one he needed. You can see he's got teammates in A as well, so that'll keep the timer frozen, but for how long here, Wes?
Yeah, he gets taken down, and that's the first kill of the 4v4 standoff that really is going to matter because now Catalyst with the numbers advantage, they're going to already be into B, and it's up to the rest of ESA Red to see if they can push into A. A is going to get transferred. Somehow Piggy stays alive in the back, and it's just 4 dead for ESA Red. It's all Catalyst here to end this one. Yeah. And what looked like was going to be a solid competitive series at the start of Aquarius CTF ends up going heavily in the favor of Catalyst as they take this one 3-0. In games 2 and 3, Catalyst really started to gain momentum and never looked back.
Definitely got to give some props to Too Nice for going 20 and I think 15 in that final game, showing up, showing out, you know, as things did close, but of course not the intended result, not what they had hoped for. I think in that series, things went by pretty quickly, and I think that's just kind of how the cookie crumbles with Exhibition Day. Wes is single elimination, $500 down. You come, you take your win, or you take an L, and go on with your day. So unfortunate for ESA Red, it just wasn't their day today. Catalyst, on the other hand, they are looking different, Wes. They were looking incredible on Monday. It seems like the momentum and the chemistry that they had then has been carried till now. However, they have bigger, better competitors, I think, you know, waiting for them in the form of Pioneers on the other side of that bracket. So I can't wait to see, you know, where that goes, of course, unless ESA Blue came to play, because we got to watch them too.
Yeah, big thing for me is just it's really hard to get a read on how well this ESA Red team can play when we watch them against potentially one of the hottest AM teams that we have right now in the circuit, right? Catalyst is one of these teams that is creating upset after upset, especially after their Monday performance. I mean, even before then, I feel like these names have started to pop up here and streams and scrims and whatnot. And these guys are starting to make names for themselves. So Catalyst, whatever they're doing it correctly. They're starting to continuously improve, and there's echoes of how solid this team really is. So if ESA Red wants to hold their head up high, I don't think it's like any knock on them, or it wasn't really a great judgment of their skill or opportunity here today. I think that they played one of the best teams that's considered like a dark horse.
Right.
And with that, I think that just continues to prove how strong this Catalyst team is. I'm excited to see if we do get a Pioneers matchup, how strong they look there.
Right. Even just going back to Monday, they were second place. They only lost to Boo Boo Spartan, that crazy roster we witnessed.
Yeah, like an all-star roster.
An all-star team was the only team to take them down in ESA. So like you said, Catalyst, they're making waves. We'll see how far that goes. In the meantime, let's send it back to Yeso, see what he thinks of the series before we jump into the next one.
Unfortunately, not a ton to add really on top of your guys' breakdown there, because I couldn't agree more. Catalyst is certainly, when you're looking at the teams not signed by a big org, Catalyst feels like one of the ones that you're mainly looking at heading towards Orlando in September to really make some noise. And of course, there's still quite a bit of time until that next big HCS event, and things can change in the interim. But right now, Catalyst looks incredible, important, as you know, Shyway and Clutch did, to reference the way that they played on Monday night, and they looked incredible. And you know, they eventually, like they said, ran into the buzzsaw that was that Palm Villains squad, right, in grand finals with the incredible level of talent on that team. But Catalyst just really looks good, and you know, it's a tough draw here for Esports Arena Red, and ultimately that's how Pro Night's going to work, right? You're not going to get easy matchups regardless of how things shake out in the brackets. You have to show up and you have to make some magic happen. Credit to Too Nice, as Shyway and Clutch said, great finish to the series. And ultimately, Esports Arena Red even like came into the start of that set pretty solid, right? The first lives, rough, right? They go down 3 basically right off the bat in that first CTF game, but it seemed like they actually did a really good job of stabilizing pretty quickly and getting their feet under them and getting rolling in that game. And while they ultimately fall 5-2, it definitely felt to me like the closest performance they had of the 3 games that they played. And hopefully, for Esports Arena Red, and ultimately you have to, you know, look at all of these performances as learning experiences, because it's a very long season. They're going to play a lot of Halo. They've got time to improve. They have to get as much as they can out of every time they play one of these top caliber squads. You're always going to be the underdog against one of these teams, almost always. So you need to come in, learn, and try and test yourselves and push yourselves in these matchups. And I think ESA Red did some of that here today. They'll look to build on that going into next week, because of course we'll see them again Monday night and then next Friday. Now, of course, now we have to turn our attention forward to our next series, Pioneers and Esports Arena Blue. And of course, Pioneers, rightfully so, will be the favorite here to try and move on to face Catalyst, but Esports Arena Blue, another opportunity. And when you look at KCP, look at the trajectory of this roster, right? At the end of Halo 5, they were that up-and-coming squad, and now they have thoroughly established themselves as a big threat in the scene. And so this is an opportunity for Esports Arena Blue to start that come-up themselves. They are not expected to win this series, rightfully so. KCP is just that darn good, but take advantage of the opportunity, and let's see what happens. Play comfortable, play fast, play loose, have fun here, and let's see what happens. But match is ready to go. Casters ready to go as well. So let's head back over to Shyway and Clutch.
Thank you, Yeso. I agree. Let's see what happens. Of course, Catalyst, ESA Red, that was a quick one. What I'm hoping happens is we get a little bit more contention. We get a longer series this time around. However, unfortunately, I'd say for ESA Blue, Wes, this is Pioneers we're talking about. Pioneers, I want to say, came up from Esports Arena back in Halo 5. That's where we got to witness them the most. A dedicated team that would win time and time again back in H5, and understandably, you know, carried that dominance into Infinite as well. Looking at what, maybe top 4, top 5 overall in their standings as a team in HCS. So to come here, and keep that performance would only be expected.
It is going to be a makeshift roster, as I see. It's Druck, Manny, JK, and Collect.
Okay,
but still a lot of talent, still a lot of individuals skilled there, especially after the job Collect was able to do yesterday in the HCS Pro Series. He was popping off against some of the world's best in Cloud9, and hopefully we see some of Collect's point of view, because he's one of those young Halo Infinite players that has started to make a name for himself. He's got himself a roster spot on the Space Station Gaming as of now, and he looks like he could be the real deal if he can replicate the performance he was putting on yesterday. And I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I talked about consistency and the ability to bring consistent performances on in the last series. If Collect can consistently play like that, we're talking superstar level at that. But easier said than done. And we'll see what he brings for us today, but still a very strong Pioneers roster from top to bottom here.
Yes.
And great practice for anybody that they play. It gives you a little hope for Catalyst, though. If things go according to plan and Pioneers take this series, as I would think they would, I would hope that Catalysts are able to go in there confidently, knowing that they're maybe not playing the practice, tried and true Pioneer squad that we know and love.
Which makes things exciting. I'm glad we got that update. Of course, like you said, Collect, probably the biggest star, I think, of yesterday in terms of his performance. So we get to see him today. And also, we don't know if that's going to positively or negatively impact this Pioneers roster. If that gives ESA Blue a chance to give us a show, to make some big plays with what is hopefully, chemistry on their team, considering they have been sticking together for a little bit of time now at this point. But of course, not going to be easy, regardless of how we look at it, Wes. We've got our series layout in front of us. We've got Strongholds, Recharge, Slayer, Live Fire, CTF Bizarre, and then, of course, Oddball, Live Fire, and Slayer, Aquarius, if we get there. Here's hoping we do get there, Wes, but just based off of what you see with Game 1 here, any thoughts kind of coming into this one?
Yeah, I think that obviously I'm a big fan of Strongholds Recharge. I think it can be a very fast-paced game. Especially depending on how teams want to play it, and that shock rifle, what it can do as far as its impact with how much ammo it has in it, how quickly it respawns on the map. Would love to see ESA Blue get their hands on the shock rifle and put it to work, because if it gets in the hands of a member on the other side from Pioneers, it can be deadly, right? I know Talk's typically the sniper or soul sniper, so we're going to see Druck and Manny. They're going to have an opportunity to potentially get that in their hands. Collect, his individual skill already tells me that he's going to be lethal with that thing. Control of the power-ups and power weapons would go a long way for ESA Blue here in this series. And like you said, I think their chemistry, their ability to play with each other over a long period of time can benefit them here. We'll see if that's the case.
We'll have to find out. Here we are, Series 2 of the day, single elimination best of 5. So you better bring your A game, or that is it for you in today's tournament. Either way, I'm ready for a show, and I think Switch It Up is too. He's the first one to get a kill on his team. The only one to get a kill on his team. You can see the pressure coming in from Pioneers here early on.
Pressure from Pioneers is going to reward them A and C at the start. It's not often you see the AC caps before B goes over, but batteries is it more difficult stronghold to try and capture here. They are going to be able to transfer it over. It's going to be a momentary trip cap as the elevator spawns come through, and you can already see Pioneers wanting to pressure that, but JK maybe just a little bit too quick there by himself. He's taken down. That relieves a lot of the pressure off ESA Blue right now. Let's see what they choose to do with that kill.
ESA Blue looking for some early momentum in this, and I love the attention to detail out of, is it Kabe, who looks to be a different member of this team. I'm excited to see what he can put together as well, just trying to hold things down. Switch It Up will do that, though. That's 4 kills for him.
Switch It Up. He is one of those players alongside Pat Mandela that are very talented. Individual skill-wise, it's just a matter of putting the pieces together in the 4v4 department. Kabe, he's going to get a kill with that grenade as Switch It Up just looking to control this bat ledge area. Knows that there's probably a player in yellow above him. He's making a ton of noise while he's sprinting. Probably going to give his location away, and that player is looking for him, but doesn't expect him to go up the stairs. So Switch It Up doing a good job of locking that side down. Unfortunately, just taking a look at the observer mode there, seeing everybody on the red side collapse onto him. His life was going to be shortly lived from that point on, but he was over there doing a good job of that stint. It's a 47 to 29 point lead early for ESA Blue, so they're doing things right. Unfortunately, with camo coming up, that is not the time you want to die.
Must have been 2 or 3 back-to-back kills there from Collect. I don't know how he lived in that situation too. He was one shot, managed to get an early melee, come out on top in that fight. Because of it, you can see the map start to swing back in the favor of Pioneers, unless Pack's got something to say about it. He'll pick up one, looking for a second here. And nice little back down from that player to get out of this situation. Just a note, Wes, Kabe would be replacing Nebula, who is normally on this roster. So big shoes to fill for this one. And hopefully something we get to see as, early on here, Pioneers starting to take the game back.
Pioneers with some momentum finally up to a 30-point lead, pushing the trip cap as well. So they got 3 fresh dead. They're all aboard the aggression train as they flood into elevators. You see the spawns came over towards Turbine, and those first 2 kills are going to make this stronghold fight so difficult for the last 2 players that are alive. They're going to have to deal with all 4 members, and look at that. It's a collapse from the Pioneers players. So even though they may not have their full team, they are all under the impression that they want to play fast. They want to collapse on the last 2. They execute that perfectly, and because of it now, look at the score already up over 100 here momentarily.
As long as they all got that same game plan, it looks like things will work out for him. Hallelujah with an opening kill. This is going to let him get aggressive into pipes. You got to love the movement out of Collect here to do just that, though he doesn't win the fight. Little trade will come through. Thankfully, moving in numbers here, Pioneers can continue to hold on to the momentum they have. They've always got somebody nearby to trade out the kill. Hallelujah, in the meantime, just going to want to survive, right? They got to slow the bleeding, hopefully get some teammates spawning nearby to help with this situation. Is looking grim the longer we watch it. Hallelujah, unfortunate nade in this spot. Thankfully, teammates are going to thin out the numbers. He'll clean up one himself, make it 2 in this situation as they finally get some defense on board here.
And that's the risk that Pioneers take, right? They risk overextending and losing all 4 members. Let's see what ESA Blue can do when they get all 4 dead. Unfortunately, it wasn't a very quick all 4 dead, so Pioneers are still able to compete for this camo, and it does look like they've been able to secure that camo. Nobody quite in a position from ESA Blue to go for that. They have been able to transfer over B in the meantime, though, so if they can take down that camo player with the 2-man advantage that they have, they may be able to start taking a little bit away from the deficit that they've built so far throughout this game. Unfortunately, it's going to be a much more difficult task now that that camo player has gotten away with his life, I believe. This one-on-one on Catwalk is huge, and Druck having to reload in the middle of the fight, that's never a good thing for Pioneers fans. That means Pac Mandela is not only able to get that kill, but he's able to drop down, help his teammate find the assist, and because of that, they continue momentum in their favor. All of a sudden, they're starting to score some points, down 100 still, so a lot of work to be done, Shyway, but this momentum bodes well for their future.
They've got some coverage for now, at least. But look at what Pioneers plan to do to break it. You got one pushing through center map while the attic play comes in. Collect already with 2 on the feed. You're looking for, that's Manny with the 3rd. And with that round of Slays coming in, switch it up, has no help nearby. He's going to have to bob and weave to get out of this. Not even a trade in sight as the nade does pick him off. Hallelujah off a spawn, going to get shocked. And the map control going to very quickly flip back to Pioneers. You can just see the pressure that they're dealing. Even Kabe sitting back in C is having difficulty with this. Thankfully, his teammates will collect B in the meantime. But for how long at this rate as Pioneers keep up the energy?
They are able to get C momentarily. Multiple members are hopping into B. They're going to try and defend C here. I didn't think they'd be in a position in order to do so. Maybe they actually weren't. As you see that one player try to overextend to defend it, but he just eats a grenade. Another player and switch it up gets caught trying to take a flank route bottom Mangler, and momentum right back in the hands of Pioneers. They're able to gain map control based off that overextension. It's going to be camo going into the hands of Manny, and I'd have to say, Shaway, just about every camouflage goes to Pioneers is not a good series of events for ESA Blue fans. You want to see some of these power-ups and power weapons in their hands in order to control more of the map, have an advantage in some of these fights, and just nothing being given from the side of Pioneers. And I mean, easy kills like that because you're invisible go a long way for the Pioneers here.
Starting to see the clear advantage gained from Pioneers in this situation. Not quite in a cap B as well. Player slides in to reset it. All these slight missed opportunities, right? It just stacks up. Affects the mental. Almost getting the kill, getting killed last second. Pack not able to challenge in this situation. Pioneers coming in from both above and below. Big pickup on the Manny, though. But is it too little, too late, Wes? We got 142 and counting as he just has to desperately slide the B to keep this game going. Oh,
yeah,
no.
Collect rips his head off. I said I'd like to see a little bit of Collect. Collect finds another double kill, making it 18 for the game. 18, 4, and 7 Collect He dropped a 40 burger against Cloud9 yesterday, dropping 18 here. And he's still continuing the momentum there. Confidence is something that I think was all Collect needed really in tournament formats, under the lights, on broadcast, in Halo Infinite. And I think as he started to gain a little bit of that experience, we're seeing it go a long way in his gameplay.
Right. You just got to kind of find a way to break the seal on it, right? It's like you prove to yourself that you can achieve. That you belong, exactly. Like that 40 kill burger, like you said, that's proof right there. You look back at that, you're like, if I can do this, what can't I do, right? So
exactly.
Carry that confidence into this series, and I mean, continue to dominate. So far, so good.
I mean, especially for a player like him, he's young, got a ton of individual skill. You really just need that one upset, like the Sentinel series, right?
Yep.
You needed that in order to tell yourself, I can play with this. Like the saying goes, and I said it on I think the EU show, is practice until your idols become your rivals.
Okay.
And it's like everybody goes through that phase where, I mean, I was looking up the triggers down to straight ripping, and then all of a sudden I was at a tournament one time, Meadows 09, and like we were able to beat triggers down. I didn't even play good in the series. Cloud and Demon like popped off. And because we beat triggers down, we play straight ripping next. I'm like, wait a minute, if we can beat them, we can beat these guys. And of course, I pop off against straight, and it's like everybody starts believing in each other. You use that momentum, and it's like you see some of these teams. The Kansas City Pioneers was a very similar story. I feel like they were like a good team at the end of Halo 5, and then they started to beat some of the best players in the world. And then you're like, wait a minute, how good are these kids? And it's like confidence in themselves grows, and what that shows through the gameplay. I mean, it's a thing of beauty to watch. You can watch literally individuals or teams gain confidence, and that's not something you can just give somebody. They got to get it for themselves. And you can see the Pioneers, they're playing with confidence. Collect is playing with confidence, and rightfully so. They started this one off the right way. Pat Mandela trades one back in his team's favor. And ESA Blue, they need some individuals to make some plays here to get some confidence of their own.
Speaking of confidence, Wes, Collect already has 4 kills. Like, I'm kind of curious to see what this man is up to if we can get a little bit of his POV on board, because he is popping off early on. Of course, he's got the snipe to do it. Thought we might have just caught the tail end of a headshot there, Wes, but it was enough to get the assist. Of course, he's just getting started here on top nest. They're just giving him free kills with this one.
Somebody's got to look at him first and foremost. 3 dead once again for ESA Blue. Collect with 5 to his name already. Another back turn towards him, and until they figure out where Collect is and take him down, he's going to do a ton of damage. They do just that, but a lot of damage done in that life for Collect as he's 6-1-1, continuing the snowball that he put on there at the end of game 1.
Early on in a game like this, you got to see ESA Blue trade blows, fight back, make sure they don't, fall victim, I guess, to that snowball to the point of no return like we witnessed in the previous series. And honestly, Wes, this is looking very similar to the Streets game we just watched. Here's hoping that will change quickly. ESA Blue doing what they can just to preserve their lives in time for the OS, but Collect not going to let him do it, make it a triple as he'll fly in full aggro. He's just shooting spots too, right? He's like, you feel free to challenge me. I'm looking for the over here.
Yeah, he wants the over. He was trying to use those frag grenades that would spawn up there to potentially do some quick damage for that over. But you can just tell, even if he gets the triple in like a finesse manner, he's still focused. He's still locked in on what else can he do. That shows me that his head's in the right place, his mind's in the right place to just always be efficient, always be asking yourself, what more can I do as an individual? When you get 4 of those guys, that's when things start getting scary for the other team. Right now, things getting scary. For ESA Blue, they're able to get a couple of kills in their favor, making it just a 9-kill lead, so it's still doable on their end. But if we learned anything from the first series, control of the map, the weapons, they can continue to snowball very quickly. And unfortunately, they're not able to transition the first 2 kills they were able to get right there into more. And with that, Slay's going in the favor of Pioneers for now.
It's a kill race for Collect all while this happens, Wes. He's 11-3 on the board. I just can't help but feel like he's just riding the wave at this point. He's like full confidence off yesterday, going to slide into any fight knowing he can win it. There's another on to Alleluia. He'll pick up the heat wave for it. We'll drop bottom mid, but I mean, at this point, 12-4. His answer has been felt amongst the team. ESA Blue can try to narrow this score line, of course, down by 8. but so far they've struggled to do so. Pack with a big trade here. They've lost 2 in the meantime, and the snipe not in their hands as well. You can see the little glimmer there.
There's a term being thrown around that I keep hearing. It's called that flow state. When you hit that flow state, you're just unconsciously playing at some sort of rhythm that just seems to have the right timings. Things are going your way, and you're not even putting a whole lot of like intentional thought into it. Of course, you are in general, but you just hit that mindset where you can consistently do no wrong.
Oh, he's going for it
right now.
He's going.
Collect. He can do no wrong.
Somebody.
Another double kill.
Oh my!
It's another grenade. Picks up an assist for that one, but I mean, look at just how fast Collect wants to play Halo Infinite. You can tell that this pace, the pressure that he's able to apply, just even as an individual, is just so much for ESA Blue to try and handle.
But you talked about timings, right? Like everything about that was so flawlessly timed, and it's like when you're in that flow state, it all just kind of works when it should. But a play like that can be extremely risky, right? Like having to sprint to the edge of that box to time that slide to launch forward, that's plenty of time where your opponent can shoot you for free if you don't have that teammate beside you to give you the opening. You know what? It doesn't matter what opportunity you've got. Collect's going to kill you at this point. 46 on the board, but 20 for him as he leads in dominant fashion. You're making 21. He'll go for a second. Dude, I can't handle this guy's POV. He's crazy.
Yeah, he's absolutely feeling himself right there. You can say the confidence in this young player starting to take off, and rightfully so. 21 to his name here. 21, 5, and 6 right now. Those are Steph Curry numbers for anyone interested, and we've seen the career Steph Curry's had. So you put up numbers like that consistently, you're going to find yourself a champion, at least here on an ESA broadcast. That's for sure. The favorites to win this whole thing. And if you thought Pioneers might look weak coming into today with a couple of additions, or a couple of substitutions, I should say, think again, because one of their substitutions may just be the next big thing.
It's starting to look that way. You know, I don't want to jump the gun on theories like that, because there's always, you know, that he's next up comment. You always see that when somebody has a good tournament, they're like, oh, you know, watch out, he's next up. Collect, from his performance yesterday to some of the stuff I'm seeing him do right now. Of course, they have the advantage in this series. Pioneers, we know this team, this roster on paper and their performance is incredible, but he is styling head and shoulders above his teammates going in, hitting all the tech at the same time, Wes. There's a pure confidence and like we said, flow state here that just feels special, just feels different. So I hope he keeps this energy. I do think that we've got big things coming from Collect.
At least for today, I think Collect may just be the player to watch here for the rest of this tournament. That being said, ESA Blue, they don't want to be knocked out. They sure as hell don't want to be 3-0'd in this fashion. And in order to stop that storyline from being a reality, they're going to have to figure out a way to win this bizarre CTF, Alex. What are some things you've noticed in the first 2 games that ESA Blue need to figure out solutions for, need to figure out ways to improve on in order to push this series even further into a game?
I mean, we spent so much time just kind of fanboying in that last game, Wes. It's hard to tell, right?
It's hard not to.
It was pretty lopsided. I think if you can shut down Collect, you know, game or step 1 would be the ideal play. But just in general, just winning your fights, right? Like you got to start winning those 1v1s. If anything, you know, have the teammates nearby to at least pick up the trade. So running in 2s and pairs, especially with something like CTF Bizarre, you need to have that perimeter. You need to be, you know, rolling together to earn center maps. So you can collect all the weapons that spawn out there as well, right? Rocket, shotgun, dynamos, OS to control so much to gather there. So, you know, just moving together, obviously the important part, but they got to win fights, I think, in the end of the day, and they're just not doing that. And until they do, then it'll continue to be lopsided. It'll continue to be, you know, pressured off a spawn.
Got to win fights. Got to figure out a way to take Collect down.
Shut him down a little bit.
Is a big solution for me. Yeah, figuring out a way to get him dead would be massive. Unfortunately, if you're going to try and do that at the start of this game, you're going to have to do it down a couple of players, and already it's a 3-1 swing on the hands of Pioneers. A good job there to sit in the corner to pick up a quick kill, but unfortunately that wasn't the overshield player. He actually delays the activation, and because of that, Druk now has that full overshield to try and play around. Does get assassinated though, so the numbers advantage for ESA Blue in the tree, they're gonna pay off here as respawners were able to play good enough defense here. The flag is still being pulled, however, and who other than Manny to get behind enemy lines and to focus on the objective. This prioritization is nothing new to Pioneers. They love to pull flags in unorthodox positions.
Yeah, a little throwback to Coliseum Halo 5, always overextending, getting those pulls back base, and look at what they gain off it. Exactly. The result of that, flag out bottom center, great baitable spot for it. Switch it up, gonna have to decide to make the play here. Thankfully, it looks like they do have numbers to get to this return, so that one will go through. And it could have been a little bit worse with this, though, and their numbers. Maybe it's their turn to get aggressive here. This is kind of the key to success we talked about, is you want to win fights, secure your guaranteed kills in this situation if you can.
You got to.
Here we go.
Big kill by Switch It Up. Pac Mandela finds one. Perfect shots from Switch It Up. So, you know when you hear that perfect in your voice, a little bit of dopamine goes into you. What that can do for your confidence. Unfortunately, just isolated on the flag, gets 1v2'd, and although Alleluia trying to make a play to clean up on some of that damage, just not enough resources from ESA Blue are there to get a realistic flag on the move. But 2 minutes down, not a flag cap, so not the worst thing for ESA Blue. But with this next overshow coming up, they need to win some fights, and that's exactly how Switch It Up leads the charge. They're able to gain a advantage momentarily, but no one on that overshield, and Druck actually is. So Druck's going to continue to find success in the power-up department. Second overshield of the game for Pioneers, and second overshield of the game for Druck as well.
And what do they make off of it? There's two up in the bar in the meantime here. You can hear a grapple swing, and Kabe looking for it, and one of the most unfortunate experiences for him, I'm sure. Thankfully, Alleluia is there to pick up on the damage, though, right? A double immediately. Flag's still out, though. He's going to have to get the cutoff here. We'll see what he can do to address it. Drops down instead. Going from behind. Might be slow on the timing, though, because of it. Hopefully, he'll get there in time for the slice. You can see his teammate now dead. Now the aggression going to come into Treehouse. And there he goes in a trade as well. A couple red players will fly out to get the touch on the flag here, too. So a tough spot for ESA Blue.
Yeah, you want to stop this flag from moving any further. Rockets are coming up. They are able to get that last kill and hop the return. They should be able to get this return. A good job to take down Collect. He gets caught flying out, and those are the kind of kills on Collect you really need to find, right? The ones where he's soaring out like he was, having so much success earlier on. Find ways to expose that. Find ways to expect him to fly out. When you're able to take him down, you're able to get the return, a set of rockets as well. And now you set yourself up for a good opportunity to get a flag on the move if you can get some slays behind these rockets. Unfortunately, just too many members to deal with. The first death from ESA Blue was the bad one, where you wanted to keep a numbers advantage trying to breach this fortress that is the base of Bazaar. But unfortunately, ESA Blue, they squander their map control for now and Switch It Up. He's trying to stay alive here. It would be big if he could. Unfortunately, just hunted down.
Probably the best he could have gone for in that situation. Great attempt. Oh, did he just get a little unfortunate teammate there, I think, too? Manny, a couple opening shots. Pac Mandela with the finisher with that nade. That secures two players and access to the OS as well. Switch It Up now without the resources. Going to be tough for him to get to center map. They're going to have to play D here once again, and it's not going to be easy.
Look at what we just saw. Like, Switch It Up was behind that pillar, and he's just throwing his grenades at big doors because he's just expecting to get sword at, right? That triple kill for Collect. Speaking of getting sword at, as 4 go down for ESA Blue, but that just shows you how much Collect is in the heads of ESA Blue with his gameplay. He's playing so fast that they're expecting him to soar in the door. What do? They waste their grenades, expecting he flies in, and therefore they don't have grenades the next time that they find themselves in a combat engagement. And because of that, they're at a significant disadvantage in Halo Infinite. Things like that just go so far. And right now, Manny's trolling with the flag, right? Like, why would you ever jump into the bar right there? Especially with 3 dead on the enemy team. There may be one player to try and deal with, but I mean, no harm, no foul. You can pretty much cruise this flag into the capture point. That is going to be a 1-0 lead for Pioneers for now.
I mean, considering what we've seen out of Pioneers, this actually took a little bit longer than I'd say expected. Just when it comes to straight up fights, they find ways to prevail here. Collect. Yeah, big pickup from Alleluia to stop that one before it got a little crazy. Switch It Up with a perfect as well. Looking to stay alive, bait and switch his way through bottom mid all while it happens here. It's been tough for ESA Blue, but not out of the running on this one as long as they can stick together here.
It's been not bad defense, but they really haven't had a realistic opportunity at a great flag run. And that worries me, right? Here we go. They're able to play defense. They get into these positions right here. Take a picture. 3 dead. You get your whole team alive. You're in front of the enemy team base. You got bar control, tree control. Can you get it done is the question so far. They haven't been able to. They pick up a very important kill onto JK. Let's get this flag on the move. With Overshield coming up in 10 seconds, if you can get this flag to the middle of the map, get the slays you need, you should be able to get Overshield and punch this one in. Unfortunately, they're forced to trade in that situation, and that trade is just going to make their ability to acquire this Overshield a little bit more difficult. In the meantime, Pioneers, they're a step ahead of them. They have that Overshield now, and now this flag run, it's dead. Shotway, hallelujah, he's the last guy alive. He's got perfect shots onto JK, but you're going to need more than that to try and deal with the Overshield player. That's surely going to be a difficult situation to deal with. The return comes through, and I believe their flag is even on the move as well.
And as they die, that flag's going to get a little bit further here, too. Switch it up. Not quite going to take his fight. Pack, thankfully, in position to get the trade on it. But does that even matter in the end of the day as the flag continues to get through double door? At this point, looking out of the running, so likely a 2-0 here. Pac Mandela, at the very least, they're going to look to get the defense for what could be another pull at this rate. You can just feel the relentless pressure coming at Pioneers. They already have the overextension on the flag as we say it. I think a third flag being pulled now as they continue to win fights out bottom mid.
Yeah, this is when the snowball comes into effect, right? You can feel Pioneers' control just starting to take over. It was a realistic run for the first time for ESA Blue, but because that flag carrier is forced to trade, they can't get the Overshield. And ever since then, it's been complete control into the Pioneers' hands. And look at this. Pioneers, they get a successful push. Hallelujah shuts it down with a nice double kill. Great trade and damage there from ESA Blue. So once again, their defense looking solid. It's the offense that really needed that extra little bit of oomph to make this game a little bit more interesting at this point. But still a manageable game. You're only down 2 flags, 4.5 minutes. You got to prove to me that you can get 1 flag cap before you can prove that you can get 2, though. And this could be the moment as they get 3 dead, map control in their favor. They get a split spawn opportunity here. This player on the flag is by himself. The rest are going to spawn towards the shotgun. And with Overshield coming up, another big chance for ESA Blue to show us what they got.
Not only that, they got numbers here too, Dad. Need to stay alive to keep those numbers, though. And I love that little escape there. Collect picks up a kill on Kabe.
Just get Overshield again.
No way they got it again, did they? Pac Mandela's down bottom mid as Collect picks up another melee. He's flying into tree here. We do get a trade, but it's not going to be enough at this rate. Hallelujah going to get dropped by Collect as well as he just about single-handedly takes the team, stops the flag in its tracks despite the whole team being up there.
There's got to be some prioritization on that Overshield when you're running that flag, right? I know you want to get that flag carrier safely to the tree, but in all honesty, getting that Overshield as the flag carrier gets it to the balcony is so important, because if the enemy team gets it, you can almost guarantee that they're going to stop that flag run. They've done it twice in a row now. So you'd like to see a little bit more power up focus from ESA Blue. Unfortunately, can't deliver that message during the game, so a lesson they're going to have to learn over time, I'm afraid. 3 minutes on the clock still time, but I say that 2 of them get put into respawn, and that time going to be continuing to dwindle, especially with another flag on the move. Rockets in the hands.
Does he? He thought he was thinking about it.
I would have shot it for sure.
He was thinking about it. Yeah.
I would have said that's my kill.
He's tagging out the shotgun. All right, a little bit of respect there. Going to make sure the teammate gets that shot. He collects everywhere on the map, though, right? Like just flying into bar, flying back for grapple. Now he's in the back of their base. Here he comes. He's way too close for this rocket. You'll try to be patient with it, but the trade this comes through. Either way, the pressure has been felt. 3-0. And a lead that just looks like it'll only extend at this rate. Wes, Hallelujah looking for just a little peak angle to slow this down.
2.5 minutes to get 3 flags. Almost impossible, but to make things worse, the 4th flag, it's on the move. It's in JK's hands across halfway. 1 rocket in the hands of Manny as well, and if he puts it to use, which he does perfectly, takes down his teammate, but that teammate was dead anyways. The return might come through, but 2 minutes for 3 flags, still just a mountain of a task to try and ask of these guys, especially not having any success so far throughout this game.
We take a look at the scoreboard, just, comparing Slay for Slay. It's not lopsided.
Not that bad.
It's not that bad, right? Like like you said, they've been doing a good job on defense, trading out their kills when they need to. There's just no pole opportunity that's gone past the 50-yard line at any point. And I think Pioneers are just quicker to get to the back of the base, to get those poles and to create more opportunities for themselves, really just to act off the little openings that they get when they get them. Hallelujah looking for an opening of his own, unless this nade does the trick. Just barely. Yeah, gonna get knocked out of that situation.
And to me, in this game, it's not about individual skill right now. Like, in this game 3, I'll say. Prioritization of power-ups, team coordination, like you're saying, strategy as far as, like, execution on spawn traps and how you want to run the flag and how you want to contain respawners during that time. That's where the mess up for USA Blue has come through. Lessons that can be learned, right? Like, you can't teach individual skill. You can teach strategy. You can teach the prioritization and how you're going to go about this the next time you run into these situations. So very learnable mistakes here for USA Blue, but nonetheless, mistakes themselves. Collect when things are going your way and you enter the dojo flow state. Really, things just work out in your favor. Just players backing up into him, players not looking at him as he picks up another kill. And I mean, how long can he ride this wave is the question. Can he take it all the way to Orlando, the sunny beaches of Florida? That would be something special.
That's a long time to ride the wave. So far, so good, though, right? Even just for today, I'm curious to now know how far these boys can fight in this one. Of course, Catalyst, you know, they played well in their series, also dominated against ESA Red. Looks like this one is just about to end here as well in 2 seconds. Pioneers, once again, another lopsided series here, a 3-0, not just in flags in the series total as well, but that only gives us a show, I think, for grand finals today. Wes, Catalysts are looking good. Pioneers, of course, not their typical roster, but the shining, I think, focal point there being Collect. He's a menace. How far does he go? How long does the wave, the flow state wave last here, Wes? I'm here to ride it.
Yeah, I was kind of disappointed when we found out that there was going to be like substitutions on the side of Pioneers. I always enjoy watching those guys play as a collective group.
Sure.
They've been doing it for a long time, but
collective group, I see you.
Not on purpose.
Okay.
But it is refreshing, especially after the performance Collect had yesterday, to get some more Collect point of view on screen, right? To see what this kid is all about. I know he streams. Big shout out to him and his Twitch channel. But definitely a player to watch and somebody that I'd love to learn more about. What is his play style? What are his strengths? What are potentially some things he can work on? It's great to see him playing with more high-level caliber players around him, showing me that he's becoming integrated into the scene in the right way. Pros are starting to accept him for the talent that he is. It's always a difficult step as an up-and-coming amateur player, and the fact that he's been given a chance to play along the studs of Manny and Druck, I mean, that's a big statement in and of itself that they're like, yeah, hey, this kid is the real deal. So very exciting things from him. A hell of a series from Collect and the boys in that one. And they're going to have a little bit more competition as they go into that grand finals in this next round up against Catalyst. Like you're saying, Catalyst have looked very strong as a collective group.
Yep.
But not to drop the word Collect too many times, they're going to have a collective effort to try and take down this kid because he is something special right now.
You could say he's calm, cool, and collected in this situation. We could keep going all day, folks. I'm sure. Either way, we're not going to. In the meantime, I think we're going to be sending this one back to Ye so he can react to the series, see what he thinks. But, of course, we're not done yet. The biggest match of the tournament yet to be played. So don't go anywhere. Stick with us. It's going to be a hell of a grand finals today.
Don't worry, Xiaowei and Clutch, I will give you two gentlemen plenty of time to wax and wane on Collect and the rest of that roster, as well as Catalyst here very, very soon, because we will be in our grand finals only momentarily. But looking back there, KCP versus ESA Blue, as I said going into the series, KCP, the heavy favorites going into that set, rightfully so. They take care of business. And it's interesting to see Collect popping off as much as he has in this last week. He's been looking really, really good recently, honestly. And it was funny because I think it was our good buddy Tools tweeting out in the last 24 hours talking about how he thinks Collect is going to be like the breakout star of Halo Infinite, that new next generation talent coming out of this title specifically. And it seems pretty hard to argue against because Collect really has burst onto the scene, taken it by storm, and is looking so damn good week in and week out. And he certainly did it in that set. For Esports Arena Blue, unfortunately, another tough loss for the team. And, you know, again, you're going to be fighting an uphill battle when you're playing against a team the caliber of KCP. And, of course, you know, a couple little roster adjustments for the squad. Not quite the full KCP roster, but that is still a star-studded lineup, and it's going to be a very tough test. And they'll, you know, have to go back to the drawing board, try and take something away from this series, and continue to work and grow going into the next week. And again, we will see them along with Esports Arena Red next Monday. And then, of course, next Friday. So we'll keep an eye on that squad. But as we get set for grand finals, KCP versus Catalyst, these are two really talented teams, a lot of firepower. I would say, and it would seem that Shyway and Clutch are in agreement with me, that KCP likely the favorite here, especially when Collect seems to be kind of firing on all cylinders, just as he has been with SSG recently. So KCP looking really good, but I would love to see Catalyst give them all they can handle. I think this is a series that certainly could go 5 games. I'm definitely leaning towards KCP. They look really good right now, but I think it's going to be a fun one regardless. I'm taking KCP 3-1 is my prediction for the series. Before, though, we get into grand finals, I do want to tell you about a little something new we're doing at your Esports Arena locations all across the country, okay? Now, we here at Esports Arena, we certainly love putting on all of these awesome esports competitions, especially Series E, but I know that some of you at home don't have the time to dedicate 3 or 4 hours to play through a whole bracket and compete. So we wanted to give you esports competition in a little bit more bite-sized form. So if you go to your local esports arena today, you can compete in PvE. And the way it works is we've got 4 different leaderboards across different game titles every single week, and each leaderboard has its own $500 prize pool. All you have to do, go to your local esports arena, purchase some tokens, use those tokens to enter in the leaderboards that you want to compete in, and put up your best scores, and you can have a shot at winning that $500. We do competitions for Aim Labs, Super Smash Bros. Home Run Derby, Mario Kart, Valorant, and more. We're switching things up every single week, keeping things fresh and fun, so make sure to go out and compete. Leaderboards run from Wednesday all the way through Sunday. You can keep track of your scores on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, and check out the 24/7 leaderboard live streams there. But make sure to go out and compete in PvE today, just like my good friend Justin in Studio White right now, throwing it down on some Aim Labs here, trying to warm up for his Valorant session, I would imagine, that is coming later tonight. 86% on the accuracy, just short of 40,000 points. So if you think you can beat Justin and some of the best players in the country, head to your local esports arena. You can use exclamation point locations in Twitch chat right now to find one near you and go and compete in PvE today. Now, our grand finals are ready to go. We've set the stage here. It's KCP versus Catalyst. I've got the 3-1 prediction in favor of KCP, but let's find out what our casters have to say. Shyway, Clutch, take it away, gents.
Thank you. Yeah, so PvE sounds like a good time, but Wes, I don't know about you, I'm ready for some PvP. Let's see this final match, this grand finals, of course, of today. $500 down, by the way. It's been single elim all day as well, so winner take all 500, loser, they get nothing. They get experience, of course. That's also the beauty of why we're here. But here we got the layout on screen. Pioneers, Catalyst, both of them been dominating today. Wes, where do you expect this one to go?
Yeah, I'm with the ASO on the Pioneers being the heavy favorite here. I think if Catalyst is to create this upset, it just continues to impress me. This is a team that, like I said, has done nothing but impress me at moments, but they haven't put together a massive upset yet. And I think that this would be probably the best team that they would potentially have upset so far. I know they had some good wins on Monday in the broadcast, but I wouldn't say that they were anything like outrageous. This would be like an outrageous upset, in my opinion. So very excited for them to have an opportunity. And I feel like they've earned it, right? They've been throwing punches with some of the tiers right above them, and they've created some upsets there. But this Pioneers team, with the talent that they have, I truly believe that this would be a big upset, even with a couple of substitutions, just the talent level that they would showcase that they had the potential skill to play around and with and compete against. I think before we go any further, though, when did Yeso get the glow up? I've been noticing this the last 2 streams. Chains are out. The Mighty Duck shirt, love that. The CLG traditional hat, absolutely. Couldn't find that on the marketplace if you wanted to, I don't think. Just wondering where it all happened, because take me back 3 years ago, and I feel, or 2 years ago, and I don't feel like he ever got the glow up. But it's always,
I feel like
always pay attention to everyone's glow up in esports. You see Frosty rocking the earring that dangles down.
The long, yes, I've seen that piece. Yeah.
I asked myself, I saw a picture
here
of
he
him
is.
right there. And I said, where in the hell did he get that thing? Look at that. Chains out, everything. The hat's on point. Mighty Duck shirt. Love that. Counter Logic Gaming sweatpants too. I didn't even get a set of that, and I won a world championship with the team.
My favorite shirt was the he had the Jujutsu Kaisen shirt. You're not.
I saw that. That one was swag too,
right?
Everything Yeso's been wearing.
He's had drip for some time, man.
ESA
as well, by the way.
ESA must have hired a stylist or something to go over there. Something's going on behind the scenes. We need to hook up. That's all I'll say. But we got.
It happened to
Halo
Tony too, though.
About.
Right? Tony's got he's got chains now. He's got rings now as well. I don't know. It's infectious. You know who I think is setting the trend, by the way? This is where
is it me?
You know what? You actually are. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not even gonna lie that I got a chain after I saw your chain. So you said it for me.
Hey,
but
chain gang.
Shit, let's go. I actually don't have mine on today. I think it's Veli. Veli on the COD host.
All right, Veli be doing too much.
Too much? If anything,
I'm a Veli fan. I'm a Veli fan, but I've seen more of Veli's chest than I've seen of my girlfriend's in the past month. So
I respect it, though. I think that's might be where it's coming from. Either way, let's get back to the series, though. Of course, we got some good Halo to play, and I'm sure plenty of these Halo players are dripped out as well. If we got an opportunity to see them in the flesh. Either way, Strongholds, Street, Slayer, Recharge, CTF, Aqua, Oddball, Recharge, Slayer, Live Fire. Hopefully, we get to see all 5 games today, Wes. But just as far as Stronghold, Streets, let's zero in there. Any thoughts coming into this?
I think it's a fast-paced game. We're going to learn a lot about Catalyst's opportunity in this series very quickly here in Game 1, because what we have learned is that this Pioneers team with the substitutions, Collect, he's looking to play fast. He's looking to end these series as quick as possible. He is flying, soaring in that state of flow. Can Catalyst rock that state of flow? Can they interrupt it? It's very difficult to do when a player gets into that mode. And right now, Collect has been in that mode, the entire Pioneers team in that mode. So an early hot start from Catalyst would be unbelievable for them. And look at that. They get 4 straight kills. B does get transferred to Pioneers momentarily, but it is going to be early control going into the hands of Catalyst. And that's exactly what you want to see if you want to see a competitive series.
Competitive series I expect to get, West. 500 on the line. This is it, though. Grand finals of the day. Our first match and a strong start, it appears, at least for Catalyst, with 12 points to kick it off. Alec gonna dip his toe in the sea here. He's got teammates nearby with some great artillery as well. You can see they have both the shotgun and the stalker and precision. Gonna look to use it.
What can precision do? So much DPS. Can be done with that, and unfortunately just an aggressive angle as he's no shield. It's an easy kill. 3 dead for Catalyst, and now all of a sudden what looked like early map control to benefit them is going to be removed for now. Good job by Piggy to stay alive. He didn't find a way to get a kill. Stagger the respawns. A great damage with a grenade to allow his teammates to come off respawn and pick up that second one as well. So Piggy doing everything right there as the last player alive for his team. Things like that go such a long way on a map like Streets to relieve some of the pressure that would have been on your respawning teammates. Unfortunately, it's not enough. Still Collect, shotgun, stalker in hand, and this could be a show from Collect here momentarily.
Right. You just gave the man everything he could ever need to dominate. You can see him tagging it out as he does get very aggressive on a 2 here. We'll see if he looks to challenge even further, using this rush to get out of that situation. One player, like you said, does escape, but for how long here is Collect will close the distance for another. Had he hit that shotgun, I think it would have been a trade there, too.
Yeah, good job to take him down. Make sure the damage isn't too much. You want to compete for rockets. The drop wall is going to help you do that, even if you're no shield from Kyle. He's able to finish off that rocket player just before he turns the corner, and kills like that, Xiaowei, that I was talking about, right? Being able to secure that kill before he gets into tires, right? Before he becomes a nuisance. What has it done? It's actually transferred rocket control into your favor. Unfortunately, you're getting kind of caught with your pants down. Fortunately, Piggy has your back. He's found a double. The rockets, they end up in a trade, but that was a momentary all 4 dead, I believe. Maybe the last guy alive for Pioneers is no shield, but he's not able to really jump into B any further, and a 20-point lead for Catalyst bodes well for their opportunity here in Game 1. You thought Pioneers could potentially start to run away with it, but good damage from everyone all around on the side of Catalyst has denied that. And even though they lose B, they're in a good position to try and retake it. If they can get this kill, they do just that. You got to dodge grenades at this point, but you should still be able to get control back in your favor and continue to build what is going to be a lead for Catalyst.
Nice patient gameplay out of Piggy all game here. He's 9-3. for the record. Just been staying alive seems to be the game plan, not overexerting himself, over chowling, putting in just enough damage to help the team when he needs to, and now he's going to start to get aggressive. With the numbers advantage, that's when you expect to see it. That final shot will be put to good use, but Druck and team very quick to try to get back to B here, though early on, Catalyst doing a great job of just locking down this rail. You can see them trying to overextend to C to instead out-rotate the team as they work together to hold down B in the meantime here.
Yeah, what a phenomenal start statistically for Piggy here in this grand finals. 11, 4, and 5 right now.
Yep.
Giving his team every bit of what Piggy can provide to his team. And let me tell you, this kid, he's been good for quite a while, I feel. I played him in matchmaking so many times, I feel like, throughout several Halos. And I feel like Piggy's always had a lot of individual skills. Somebody that really catches my eye in, like, individual combat. Maybe not yet to break out on the scene, but it's only a matter of time, you'd have to think, with the individual skill he showed me that he has. 13 now to his name, and they can secure these rockets. Those would be massive. Unfortunately, the AR for Collect is so strong in that position. Brute grenades somehow just don't do any damage to the user, but they do so much damage to the enemies. We won't talk about that. That's a rant I've gone on several times. But Piggy does end up finding those rockets, puts them to use with a kill, knocking another player to no shield, and Catalyst showing you that they can go punch for punch right now with Pioneers.
Yep. It's something you'd like to see them keep up early in the series to set some sort of pace here going forward. Of course, we talked about Pioneers being the favorite coming into this Catalyst. Anything they can do to, you know, just eliminate that possibility early on, obviously massive for them. That's 3 dead in a row right there as Alex Shot continues to lock down B. Going to be difficult for Pioneers to make any moves, especially with those nades going to work here too. Many now dead. They'll start to get aggressive on the PD. Sorry, Alec. Looking to keep his life in this situation, but a little turnaround thanks to Pioneers might give them the opening they've finally been waiting for.
Yeah, I love that they want to be aggressive. I'm not quite sure if that was the right play. They go all 4 dead. They transfer B back into the favor of Pioneers, and that could be the opening. The mistake that Catalyst find themselves biting, because right now they're going to try and fight uphill, literally. Against Struck with that Stalker rifle, he finds a double with some great shots, like you said, and they're able to flip the map completely. And look at this. We've seen this recipe for success so often. They're going to swarm onto A, trying to push into a trip cap. They're not quite quick enough, and JK, once again, maybe just a little bit too fast for his team. A team grenade comes through, so Catalyst, they get an opportunity here with that team grenade to go 3 dead for Pioneers. They're going to be able to transfer B, and what looked like was going to be a pretty tough position for Catalyst to get out of. A couple kills go their way. Team grenade goes in their way, and now all of a sudden, they've got a trip cap of their own, looking to build upon this 40-point lead already.
Very nicely split aggression at a Catalyst there, too. Of course, you saw JK try to get to B to help with the fight, but only to get tagged up on his left-hand side the moment he came off a spawn there. So they had somebody rotate, flank through to C and pinch him from both sides. The result of that did give him a temporary trip cap. You can see very quickly that has now changed hands as Collect JK going to work together to continue to lock this down. Piggy with a clutch nade. Manny will fly with a trade of his own. Going to have to dip back in the situation. You can see he's about to face 2 as Druck goes down here. The Pioneers very quickly, they found their way back into this game. All of a sudden, not so lopsided anymore on the scoreboard.
Look how well those 2 players back tower played that, knowing the angle that Manny had. Manny tried to play that one passively, like these guys are going to give me these kills, right? Those guys don't peek at all. They don't give him an opportunity. Because of that, they're able to trade it out effectively. They're able to continue to keep control of C and B as well. And they got a 30-point lead. So I love what we're seeing out of Catalyst. The patience in those hectic BR battles goes so far if you're able to keep your head on a swivel, make the right play. And that's something Catalyst has shown right now that they're capable of doing, and not a lot of up and coming aspiring AM teams are that dedicated or that patient in their play.
Hopefully the patience pays off here. Piggy doing exactly that. Just going to hold down C, let them come to him. 2 split into B. 2 are going to split through Alley to take C. And Piggy, the awareness there too, right? I think he sees the nade goes past the screen, knows exactly when to expect that opponent, taking full advantage of the sandbox there too. Precision with a kill of his own. So Catalyst, no matter what side of the map you look at, they're winning their fights on defense here.
I mean, look at the play Piggy just made. Shoots the Brute grenade, picks up the easy kill, picks up the second Brute grenade, throws it into B, allows his teammate to pick up an easy kill. 19, 10, and 10, still anchoring this A stronghold, or this C stronghold, I'm sorry. And I mean, just doing so much for his team right now is Piggy with the Stalker rifle now with an angle on the B. recycles the brew grenades perfectly. And although B gets transferred over, they got to get the hell out of Dodge because those brew grenades, they're going to track you no matter where you go.
And JK with
Pioneers,
2 big
they
kills.
got to act fast. And unfortunately, I don't think they're going to have an opportunity. Rockets are in the hands of Precision. He's put the first one to use. The second one does enough damage for the battle rifle to stay true. And JK, he gets taken down. The dead body doing cartwheels in front of him. And unfortunately, that's probably enough to distract you from hitting those shots. We'll let that one slide. Don't think it's going to punish the members of Catalyst right now. It's perfect Halo required for Pioneers in game 1 if they want to go out on top here.
I think it's moments like that where you can complain and say, I got no aim assist, bro. Because there's a dead body just flying out in front of him.
I promise you, those are not the words that are coming out of my mouth if that happens.
What the?
I'm a little bit more rude.
A little bit more rude, but either way, hopefully the players keep it together here, Wes, because that was the only real opportunity to save things. You can see Alex Shock now in B to lock that down. A is transferring, as we say. It's the Pioneers going to keep them away from closing out this game, but
Oh, that's a bad death.
one good opening off one bad death could be all that Catalyst needs here. Alex Shock with the kill. Manny with a clutch flank, though, to save C. So once again, they've kept themselves in this game. Now has the thrust to work with as well as he collapses here.
Able to remove the potential error from that bad death. Right now, Catalyst, they need to figure out a way to just get kills. The trip cap back into effect.
There we go.
3 go down for Catalyst, and this is a
Oh,
very
no.
scary moment now. All you need is 11 points, but first and foremost, you need a few kills to relieve some of the pressure we're seeing and collect.
Here he goes.
If the name of the game is pressure, you
Oh,
know
here
collect is all about that one.
Oh!
He's going to get a triple here, and he does that. He's able to keep C into his
Wow.
team's favor. Look at that. The 4th player going down, and now all of a sudden, this one, it's over. 247,
My God.
248, and that's 50 from Pioneers. The comeback is a reality. The cartwheel Spartan haunts the members of Catalyst as you have to think it interrupted
Is
one
that
of the
it?
most crucial one-on-ones we've ever seen. And there's a game dev out there just laughing his ass off as that happens.
So you're saying a single ragdoll was enough to impact that one fight that set a ripple effect that closed out that game, potentially, right? That's really all I think it is in the end of the day is one little opening with these good teams. They take it a mile. I think Collect took it even further, right? With that triple kill he got before dying. What a way to seal that out. Unfortunate for Catalyst coming out with that much heat. And I would say, holding the lead, holding the momentum in that game, the entirety of it until the very end when things just kind of snapped the other direction. So, Wes, I mean, here we are in the alternate timeline, the one where the body flew through the air.
Multiverse?
The multiverse. And hopefully one that Catalyst comes out from, because now they find themselves at an 0-1 here.
Tough pill to swallow. You definitely don't want to lose close games in a series that you think is winnable, because it's like when two teams that are really talented play each other, the one that usually wins the close games in the series, it's probably like all dumb to say, but that team usually wins the series, right? If you win the close games, you have to think that like some of these games aren't going to be close in each team's favor.
Yeah.
Winning the close one, letting a close one go hurts so much. Like getting blown out, that's one thing, and then resetting, getting a win. But when you look back at the games that were decided by one BR fight, those are the ones that sting the most. Those are the ones that keep you up at night. And for Catalyst, they're gonna wish they had those moments back, but not a lot of time to think on it, right?
Nope.
You got to be able to move on. You got to be able to transition. Although it's an up-and-coming squad, experience might be something they lack, and experience and failure and turning the ship around is something that they may need. We'll see what they have for us in store here in game 2. Druck with the sword in hand can't get the sword lunge the first time. The second one's true, and that's an easy double kill for Druck right now.
Question for you, Wes. Can you get a pancake off the ceiling, or is it just walls? Because I'm pretty sure we could have potentially seen that in that situation.
I don't know.
Getting sent.
You could probably get it off the ceiling.
Why
I
not?
haven't seen
right?
it though.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either. So there is a new challenge maybe for Collect to tackle. The man's looking for style, I'm sure. Druck in the meantime just going to lock down the triangle here. Already 9-5 to start it off. So we talked about the impact on the mental that comes from losing a game you had the pace on throughout. And because of that, you can see the momentum completely shifted early on here, 10-5.
When you talk about the momentum it gives you when you win a close game like that, when you play that perfect Halo, that's a wave you want to ride into game 2. And right now, Druck just riding the momentum 6-1-0. Yet to die. Playing perfect up until this point. He's got that sword that he's went out of his way for at the start. He's showing you why that sword can be so important to just get a quick kill. Get an easy one. Not a ton of skill needed either. Just positioning at that point. The repulsor, he's going to relocate himself to top BR. And
oh my.
I mean, how the hell is Druck everywhere at once is what the other team's asking him. Just long haul for a second. Now he's top BR all of a sudden. Repulsor is the hell of a drug. Get you some.
Just well-timed plays, right, with his teammates. Those are the situations where you like to see, confident, fast-paced play at a Druck, is just knowing he's got those teammates nearby to disrupt things enough to find the little openings. And now 17 to make it 18 to 13 because of it. Druck still staying alive here. JK with a nice little double on the feed for dead, as you said, which should force spawns. And I love the awareness at a Druck there. He had a teammate down in that hallway on Repulsor. Because of it, the splits open up in pipes, and you can see them ready for it. He's not quite able to shoot the shot. Of course, the little pickup animation going to delay him there, but still the pressure clearly in their favor.
Still just a 6-kill game with how well it feels like Pioneers are playing. So Catalyst doing a good job to somehow trade out where they can. They need to figure out a way to get some shock rifles, some swords, some camos in their favor. Potentially turn a few kills into a few more. Something they haven't been able to do yet here in game 2. They're going to need to figure out a way to do so if they want to come back. Unfortunately, this lead is starting to extend itself as Kyle Groovy, he gets taken down. You do not expect Collect to just play that fast. But that's what Collect does best. He catches you off guard, and speaking of catching a player off guard, able to take down Alex Shock next for the killing spree.
It's the sheer speed of his gameplay that I think is so startling. When you watch him play, it's shooting the nades here too, just getting mad aggressive on the two players, right? Just hoping for anything in that situation. But I wonder what his sensitivity is, though, right? Because he's just whipping that reticle
fast
around. As I say it, yeah, we're going to get a nice little stick here at a Piggy too, but it's fast. I think that's definitely what we're seeing.
(28-22), so still 6 kills. Very doable. Alex Shock makes it 5. We've seen nothing but successful plays, I feel like, from Pioneers, but for it to be a 6-5 kill game just shows you what we're not seeing in the point of views that we're watching is some success happening on the side of Catalyst to even make this game as close as it is. Unfortunately, like with camo coming up, Catalyst just in no position to really compete against the positions of Pioneers right now. Some kills are going to come through. The camo doesn't get popped, and somehow, some way, Kyle Groovy, he's able to at least make it there. You have to think that's a bit of a blunder from Pioneers. Just activate that camo, especially when you're up in the game. The worst case scenario is you go down and you hand it over. And this is what the worst case scenario looks like. It's an easy kill. Good damage onto a second player. That player's running bottom middle. You can almost guarantee somebody's got to get an angle on him, right?
He got out quick.
You know where he is still, though. You have to. He is able to get the kill, but the stick comes through. A good job by Manny to trade out with the camo player, but a good amount of damage done with that camo. Unfortunately, still a 6-kill lead. So Pioneers showing you they can trade at these disadvantageous positions as well.
Exactly. Even as the camo's picked up, maybe he gets 1 kill, but 2 kills are traded at the same time thanks to Pioneers. Druck now still going ham, by the way. Man's moving quick, make it a double as he'll snap for the third. No way he picks up this kill. Gotta love the use of the cover there, too, just to keep the damage and keep that player back as well. Give him time for Manny to come in and do his thing. Druck with a full map attempt there.
Oh, my God.
And he still has a grapple to keep going early. Oh, it doesn't even matter if he whiffs melees. Jesus. He will still find kills in this situation. Druck clearly not a single fear at all as he gets aggressive here.
Just pumping out damage with the commando as well. Playing so fast that he's just unexpected. He's in positions where Catalyst, you can tell, are like, there's no way he's here. It's because he's playing so fast. They're not used to this pace. They're not used to playing against a player with the caliber of movement like Druck. And Druck, he's behind enemy lines once again. This player hears him with the slide, but with the shock rifle out, you got to be perfect. And unfortunately, just not the case for Catalyst. That's going to do it here on Recharge. It's going to be a 2-0 lead now in our grand finals for the Pioneers. A very comfortable game. It was within striking distance, I would say, the entire time. But Catalyst never found the solution in order to trade efficiently to cut into that 6-kill deficit. And the closer you see it extend to 50, the harder it's going to become to make it a reality of a comeback. It's one thing to be down by 6 when it's like 11-17. Completely different when it's 41 to I'm doing live math, 35.
Sure. I mean, either way, like what is clear is the lead is not changed hands, right? Like there were moments where things got closer, and we're giving credit to Catalyst for staying, in the game and keeping it going. But in the end of the day, when we actually look at the POVs of Druck and Collect, I see, people playing in the pocket. Like they're in no way are they shaken. Obviously, they're working together, but they're going for wild stuff. Like Druck is going for off top a plat, trying to cross the entire map with a grapple, which is like you only do that if you know you're going to win this game, no matter what, right? And until that play style changes, then I don't see Catalyst finding their footing here. They need to check them a little bit, force them to change their play style, and start to avoid taking risks. Because right now they're so comfortable that they're just going for style. They're going for risks. So. Rough spot to be in for Catalyst. They got one more game to regain and really give us a show here, Wes. It's CTF Aqua to do it.
Yeah, it's tough when a team gets this much confidence and gets the momentum going in their favor so far. Like they start to like play unnaturally aggressive. I think something that really points, like the best example is when you watch Cloud9 play against Sentinels. And as we get into the action of game 3, I'll make it quick, but Cloud9, when they're steamrolling Sentinels, it's because they're like challenging in manners that like you would never think that they're challenging in. Like this guy's no shield, there's no way he re-chows this angle, and it's like Cloud9 almost disrespectfully plays at times when they're feeling themselves at the highest level. They play disrespectful in a sense.
That's kind of how this game needs to be played, though. To be honest, I think like you want to be disrespectful in the Infinite in the way that you play. That's
but I think something we saw at Kansas City was. You start to catch on to that disrespectful play. You start to expect those reach outs. And if you can punish a couple of them, it can really mess with the mentality and the confidence that team is playing with, right? All of a sudden, a couple of those that get punished, that's when you swing momentum. That's when you start to gain advantages. And all of a sudden, the players that were over-chowing, the players that were maybe taking too many risks, they start to really question if they should be taking risks right now that they've had so much success with.
Right.
And I think that's what we're seeing out of Collect right now in the boys is,
oh my,
he's feeling himself so much that until somebody figures out a way to punish him, hits him with the pre-grenades, hits him with the nice reads, he's going to keep doing it. And right now, Pioneers, they got a flag all the way across half map. It's game 3. It's the last game of the finals. If Pioneers are to take this one, they're going to call themselves grand champions. Kyle Groovy, he's able to get a double kill, and another player sneaks into the base, gets a touch on the flag. So
nice.
JK's got an army to try and deal with here as Catalyst get the return, get a counter cap opportunity, and they can shut down these overextenders. They're going to take the lead here in game 3, which will be a massive change of momentum.
Beautiful little turn of events. And I mean, JK, I loved everything he did about those moves there to be so quick on the challenge. Unfortunately, he died in the process, didn't get the kill. So the result of this, Kyle Groovy going to take that flag through base, and the first flag going to go to Catalyst, despite the relentless pressure we saw there out of Pioneers early on. Quick little reversal, and something you hope to see continue out of Catalyst. Precision, look at what they've gained with this too, right? The ball continues rolling. Precision going to work with the thrust and the camo. Unfortunately, we'll lose it. And now Catalyst hopefully will find their footing before Pioneer starts to get it back.
Yeah, can Catalyst play defense at this time? Collect. He's going to get the first. Can't stay alive, though, so a good job to secure that kill. Piggy needs help in your base. A good head on a swivel move to go back. Wait a minute. He doesn't get that first kill. He gets the second, but what you thought was going to be a double there is unfortunately not the case. And because of it, the flag is going to be on the move. The overextender and Alex Shock is already in Pioneer's base, so good position here for him. Not a lot of information, as you can tell. He's kind of hesitant to make a play in an exact spot. He's forced to trade with Druck, and when you get behind enemy lines like that, you can get more than a trade, you would think. But 3 death for Pioneers. The rest of Catalyst get the job done as well, and a great return comes through for them to keep the lead for now.
Just finding ways to disrupt things last second. Catalyst gonna try to make moves off of that little opening too. Precision with a opening kill, make it a second there as he picks up JK. Nice little read in the rotation too. Collect in trouble now without the numbers. They drop along with another. So Catalyst finding little answers here. Druck will try to overextend for a 1v1. He
Nice
won't
shot.
win. And the late series ice out of Catalyst is very clear here, Wes. Let's see how long they can maintain it.
Absolutely. Great shots by both players. We got an opportunity to showcase there. They're going to take a 2-0 lead here on Aquarius. Still plenty of time for some sort of a comeback, for anything to change, really. But so far, the early game going heavily in the favor of Catalyst's hands. Can they get this camo is a big question. Unfortunately, Kyle Groovy was the player to acquire it. I'm not sure if he was able to activate it before getting taken down. And now Piggy's got multiple players surrounding him, but no problem for Piggy. It's a double, and immediately, wasting no time, he makes his way to the flag.
Just moving in unison here. Catalyst finding a second win when it matters most, taking a third flag directly through the center of the map. And what a beautiful run this is, as he'll chain some curb slides with it just to make sure that one goes in for a 3-0 in less than 5 minutes here, Wes. What's going on?
Beautiful from Catalyst. They've been able to start winning some one-on-ones. You're seeing the perfect kills. You're seeing the map presence. Aquarius CTF is a very traditional style of game, and you can tell they feel much more comfortable with the symmetrical style that it's giving them here. Able to keep the enemy in front of them. They know where Collect is coming from, but Piggy somehow through the explosions get the triple. Can he get the O? That would have been something special as he gets the flag on the move. Unfortunately, he gets taken down. And Alex Shock can't quite go for the flag because respawners are already up. He's got to figure out a way to just play his life. When you're up 3-0, you're not really focused on trying to press that fourth flag in. More so just be a nuisance. Try and keep map control for your team. Unfortunately, he's eventually taken down. So Pioneers do a good job to come off spawn and what looked like was going to be the potentially fourth cap for Catalyst. Let's see if they're able to use that advantage now to maybe play some objective as their own, as the flag once again across halfway in Manny's hands.
You can just see how consistent everybody is at this point with their slides, right? Like Manny perfectly positioning himself on that jump up ledge to get to the back of the base, collect the flag, and then look how clean that run was, practically untouched as he plants it in for a now 3-1 score. Despite the opening at a Catalyst, I think just as quickly Pioneers could find the reins again in this game, West, if Catalyst ease up even slightly.
Yeah, absolutely. This one's far from over. 5 minutes and 45 seconds. Plenty of time on the clock. Oh, no.
Until.
This is not a good strategy from Druck.
You don't know. He's going for a secret spot there. Takes a second to register. So it looks like we are going to put a pause on this one. I don't quite know how much will count for the tally, West. Of course, the first 3 flags definitely had a Catalyst. I assume the following flag we saw, the counter at least out of Pioneers, would stick for a 3-1, but we'll get the final update once we figure it out. In the meantime, it's unfortunate that the momentum would be kind of compromised in that way, because it just, from what we saw, it just looked like Catalyst, had that one in the palm of their hands there, Wes, at least up until that last minute or so.
Yeah, I feel like you could feel momentum shifting, so I'm not going to say that game was over.
Yeah.
Piggy was having a hell of a performance with 19 kills currently in the match, so big shout out to him. If he's continuously able to play at that level, he had a great performance so far in the grand finals. Unfortunately, he still finds himself down 2-0. They're going to be able to play with the lead no matter what here in the reset, but how much time is on the clock is a question that comes into mind, and as well as like, you had momentum and you could feel it shift. Were they ever going to be able to shift the momentum back in their favor is the question, because I feel like we watched momentum shift in game 1, and ever since then it's been in the hands of Pioneers up until the start of game 3 here. Catalyst doing a phenomenal job on Aquarius CTF so far, but still far from over. And closing the door on this team seems to be difficult, right? Like, they seem so in such a good position in game one to take the game 1 victory, but it only took one set of slays for Pioneers, one BR fight really for Pioneers to really gain some momentum and gain some map control, and then we saw the snowball. You can see something like that happen as well in Aquarius CTF, so it could have been a matter of time, but we will never know. That's another multiverse.
Right.
I think that's what these lagouts give us, is just several different multiverses where the game keeps playing, and then these careers. And Piggy's a HCS world champion at the end of the year. But unfortunately, maybe not the world we live in.
Infinite timelines out here for sure, Wes. Oh my God. But
sorry,
go ahead.
No, you go.
I mean, I think the biggest thing just coming off of that I wanted to point out was the play style of Pioneers coming out of game 2 and how that kind of had me worried coming into game 3, right? Because it wasn't just about the lead that Pioneers had. It was the play style of Pioneers that was just straight disrespectful, right? Like they were so confident, cocky kind of in their play that they were going for style. They were doing a little bit extra, trying to cross the entire map. So, the hope was that Catalyst couldn't just, trade blow for blow. They would find a way to get their own confidence and shut them down so that they had to think twice about their risky play. So I think the beauty of that is we saw that answer. We saw Catalyst come back. We saw Piggy with a, triple almost over at 1.2. So a little bit of style out of them as well. So just, it gave me some optimism, some faith that Catalyst, when they're on, they can take this thing. They came to play. And maybe coming back into game 3, we get a different Pioneers as a result. Pioneers are like, okay, let's close this out for real. We're going to have to focus up, take this seriously.
Yeah, for me, there's a lot going on here, right? And I think for a team like Catalyst to be playing against a team like Pioneers that's playing so fast, it's creating so much chaos, playing on a very symmetrical map with set spawns on each side is going to do a lot of justice for you. Not only is like the power on Aquarius far less than a map like Recharge where there's sword, there's camo, there's shock rifle, things that are going to continue to snowball. Like, yes, you have commando, yes, you have camouflage and the heat wave, but those things aren't necessarily like one-shot kills. They're not doing the same DPS as the sword and the shock rifle. They're not creating an instantaneous advantage for this team, like in a moment's notice, right? The second you get a headshot with the shock rifle or you get a kill with the sword, you're in a 4v3 situation. You probably have like grapple to close the distance. You don't really have those large momentum shifting equipment power-ups and power weapons on Aquarius. So you get a little bit more opportunity to like play against less of a snowball when the enemy team has control, as well as more of where the enemy team is coming from, right? One of the things that like an ASIM like Streets do or recharges, they can come from several different directions. You got to try and keep tallies on everybody. On Aquarius, it's a very like it's a straight line map in a sense, if that makes sense. 3 lanes, straight line, and
very
if you
simple.
can keep like, yeah, you're gonna not be as surprised as to where people came from as much on a map like Aquarius as you are on a map like Recharge. So a lot less mind games to be played from that fast pace. You can kind of expect it because you will see them coming on a map like Aquarius, right? Maybe not the best sight lines compared to like a midship, but still similar style to where there's not a lot of unknown there coming at you. So I think that benefits a team like Catalyst to try and make the game less chaotic and more predictable in their favor. They're able to keep track of players more often. And because of it, it just makes more sense. This triple kill by Piggy was absolutely nasty. Somehow he doesn't go down there. And
what
that was
with Manny in that play though, right? Like Manny, I think he like jumped over him or slid past him or something, then it looked back and got anyway.
Yeah, I think Manny probably thought he died, or that he could like transition onto a second player. But I mean, that teaches you to make sure you're accomplishing step 1 before going to step 2. Things like that can go a long way, and even just a small mistake. This is just a massive play. Shoots the brew grenades right as he's coming up. He's able to get that easy kill. He then picks up that brew grenade, throws it into B, gives a teammate a massive advantage in a 1v1. Things like that go so far. Collect with this triple, I mean, that was beautiful as well. That pretty much solidified it.
I think that the biggest thing is he like it's just his accuracy when he's coming in that quickly that's making it so that he stays alive, right? Because if I slide in like that and you're not hitting every shot, like you're gonna get melted, right? Like when he's just holding forward practically. Of course, there's a couple little things he's doing to kind of finesse and be a tricky target, but I think the biggest thing with Collect is like the speed of his play and his accuracy while he moves fast. It just has you kind of a step behind him, basically. Here it is. He goes right past him there, and Piggy takes advantage.
If it works, it works. And whatever Pioneers is doing right now, it's definitely been working in their favor. As we get this lobby resorted, everybody back intact, Pioneers want to end this one quick. The way that they're playing so far today shows you every bit that that's the case. They want to step on their opponents and keep trekking. And Catalyst, they seem to have figured out a way to weather the storm there, gain some advantages in Aquarius, and they're going to have that lead going into the remake. It's just a matter of, will they have that same level of confidence and momentum in their favor? Because right now, when we've seen the momentum shift, it's been for the worse on the side of Catalyst. It's been very difficult for them to deal with the map control that Pioneers gain.
I agree, Wes. Speaking of map control and just how things went in that previous game, looks like we got our tally for the score. Catalyst apparently, actually, this makes sense. Catalyst needs 3, and Pioneers needs 5. I thought for a second they were going to hold their 3 points, and Pioneers would have to work from 0. It's the same as what we witnessed. Basically, it's it's as if it was 3-1. Instead, this time it's a 2-0 when we jump back into the game. So Catalyst, once again, they need 3 flags, full game for Pioneers. Either way, the biggest, blow, I think, for that game is just the way that momentum works in these matches, being able to restart from a clean slate. Mentally as well, I think coming into this, it could be very different off the rip here. So here's hoping Catalyst can, not only maintain the lead that they have, but just kind of come in with that same confidence that they had created for themselves before the game split, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. Can they keep it rolling is the big question for me. They have a significant advantage still, and it's not often you see flags, like a team win by 3 caps in a flag, and I think the Catalyst should be able to do it. The big question is, how strong are Pioneers going to come out here in this remake, right? Because if they come out guns a-blazing, this could get ugly, but I think Catalyst have it in them to push this to at least an all ball and recharge, and we'll see what happens if we can get to that game 4 as well.
Finally back in it, and hopefully we stay here, though it looks like we won't be here long. You can see there must have been another issue here with the lobby. We'll be jumping right back in as soon as it's sorted. Definitely a little bit crushing for the momentum for any of these players, but they're used to it, I think, as well, right? Like with all the 8s and custom lobbies that these boys play, sometimes stuff like this happens. So I think even, for Catalyst, when you're worried, like, okay, does that impact their momentum? It's not an unexpected thing that they've had to deal with, right? You got a lot of experience, at least behind them.
I think since H2A, if you want to be...
It's even worse with H2A, yeah.
A Halo Pro, you got to be able to mentally stay locked in, stay checked in, right? I think that's a massive ask of individuals, something I never really had to deal with as a professional player, but it's definitely something that needs to be a strength of someone you look for in a teammate, right? Because it's a reality of the situation with esports where we're going to run into technical difficulties. I mean, every single esport runs into it, and it's a matter of making sure when the bell rings and the referee says fight, that you're ready to go, that you're at the top of your game, because it's very easy to get caught off guard, right? From the momentum, to not be ready for that battle that's going to ensue. And we'll find out which players can benefit from these things, which players can suffer from these things, but we'll get into it soon enough. And these players, they need to be ready when we do.
The biggest thing I feel like I've been realizing is to just try to not have a lot of emotion, if anything, right? Like if you find yourself caught in the highs and the lows, it can be, obviously the highs, you want to ride them when you have them, but like there's always that juxtaposition as opposed to just being in peace, if that makes sense. Being able to just kind of maintain yourself in that midpoint, or that like unaffected, almost emotionless kind of state, so that you don't find yourself swinging or affected by these little inconsistencies or occurrences that happen in pro play. So it's tough. It's a mental game in so many different ways, right? Even mid game, when things don't go your way, when you're not making the plays you need to, just not letting that impact you in any way. And when you are popping off too, I find, like, you watch even Formal, the plays that he was making yesterday, the man was carrying I think like a frenzy into a riot, and at no point did it feel like there was adrenaline affecting him in any way whatsoever. So hopefully these players can follow suit, because it looks like we are in for real this time. And Manny looking to start things out with a hot one, as he somehow avoids 2 and stays alive.
Way.
Bottom mid, you're kidding me. Oh, no,
okay, finally taken down. No way he gets out of that one, and looked like for a moment that was going to be the case. A good job by Catalyst to get that taken care of. Taking down Manny with that camo is a very important kill. They actually had a flag on the move as well, but reminder, plenty of time on the clock, but Catalyst are going to have a 2-cap lead. No way to show that in the UI as of right now, but 0-0 for now. Early control probably in the favor of Catalyst, I would say, but in the blink of an instant, it can be removed, and we've seen that several times today.
One thing that hasn't changed, though, look at the scoreline for Piggy, right? 5-2 to start the game. He was popping off in Aquarius when we last saw him, and it looks like he'll start in the same fashion. Of course, that flag is pulled, though. Doesn't look like it'll get too far at this rate, though. JK and team going to get back to the return immediately. Piggy with another pickup, make it 6, as he's still winning his fights. Last time we saw Collect on this map, though, Wes, he dropped, what, 42, 43 kills? So I just feel like it's a matter of time till he finds his footing, and if you don't shut him down early, that could slip out of hand pretty quick.
They're doing a good job of shutting him down. I said that was going to be one of the key things for this team to have success. He's just 1-4-3. Unfortunately, Manny, he's picked up the slang. 6-1-2 right now, and they got a flag on the move as well, so we got to be careful right now. These kills could be big to make this just a 1 flag cap game. 2 players are no shield in the back of the base, but I'm not quite sure if anybody's there to finish him off. 2 players are dead for each side, and Collect goes down. That's going to be 2 players from Catalyst trying to hop the return. It's going to be Manny to try and deny it. He gets 1, but 1's not enough. The return's going to come through. And that's a big return for Catalyst to keep this at a 2-0 favor in their hands.
Ooh, I was about to say not only that, but a camo pickup as well. Looks like that camo player did die. I'm not sure if he managed to activate it too. So Pioneers coming in with plenty of heat for another flagpole. Time and time again, Catalyst have found ways to defend this, but it just seems like a matter of time till Pioneers find that 1 flag that breaks through. They have mid-map for now, and Collect with the Dynamos in the back pocket. You're just waiting for that one moment where he's going to throw them out.
Kyle Groovy. Lost 2 teammates, gets spotted out.
What the?
Unfortunately, the thrust back is not in time to dodge the melee, and that takes him down. That's a flag on the move now for Pioneers. They look to make this a 1 cap game. They catch a couple of the respawners trying to push top pink, and you can guarantee this fight's going to go in after you see those 2 kills. Going to be 1 player that has something to say about it top pink, but there's no way. And it gets punched in. Pioneers now just down 1 flag. Plenty of time on the board, too.
That was the worry, is just when we jump back into this one, basically a clean slate, despite the fact that it was, 2-0 on the board. When it comes to momentum, when it comes to pace of play, Pioneers can very quickly flip this one around. So 1 flag left to tie things up overall. Piggy's still playing well, though. 10-6 on the board here, looking to keep the damage up as he tries to stay alive. Give his team some time to get aggressive on the red base. Those are the types of nades you'd like to see if you're on Catalyst as well. Druck gonna tag himself up a little bit with that, but his team holding the line mid-map. There's the second nade being put to work and let him win the fight and give his team the opening to get to the cam. Will make it 2 as he looks for a 3rd to clean up. That's a triple. He's back on the nades if he needs them, but at this point, everything's starting to roll for Pioneers.
Yeah, it's so much prioritization on the thrust from some of the best players in the league, and you can tell how Druck uses that thrust so successfully to split difference between the 2 players on Catalyst, gets him out of dodge, gets him a kill, picks up another kill, picks up the thrust from that player's body, and just like recycles the equipment. But there is a power weapon on Aquarius. I'd have to say, like, that thrust, like, I know it's 100%. Not a weapon, but that duelist capability that it just gives you is so big. Nades come through. Thought Manny might be able to deny that return, but fortunately, the last guy alive, Piggy, somehow, some way, able to get that return.
Okay.
Unfortunately, every one of his teammates go down, and that's Pioneers in his base. They've got the return themselves. They throw the flag out, bottom middle. And now with everyone on Catalyst stuck in a really tough spot here, they're going to have to get the kills in their base in order to get this return. They do just that.
Yep.
They keep the lead for now, but that was a very sticky situation where Piggy clutched up once again.
12-8, by the way. Still staying alive, bottom mid, Collect. Oh, he's looking for him, though, right? Just a matter of time till we see this man show what he can do, make it a double. As he'll even the odds here, center map, looking for another win in this fight, but Alex Shock not going to let him have it. Just continuing to hold the line. Catalyst, of course, still leading by 1 overall in flags here.
Druck stays alive.
What we haven't seen at a Catalyst, though, is any good, concerted flag run. Instead, just defense, I think, throughout. The worry is that how long can they maintain that till Pioneers continue to break through. Kyle Groovy maybe has a different game plan in mind, but he's got no teammates for this.
Yeah, not a lot of success from Catalyst so far in this remake, right? And that's something that worries you if you're rooting for Catalyst to push this a little bit further. 3 members
There we go.
over here to defend the return, so still strong on the defensive end, and because of that, they're going to be able to keep the lead here under 6 minutes, so eventually time will be on your side.
He stuck him.
Collect gets a ninja in the kill feed. You wonder what happened there.
It happened
Not
right
quite
in front
sure,
of us, actually. It was the kill right up front. I mean, we didn't get to see how exactly he
Right.
pulled it off, but yeah, just right now, I think when it comes to Pioneers, you look at the slays, they are relentless at this point.
I mean, how many returns have we seen Catalyst get so far in this remake? It's been so many. It's just a matter of time, you think, that Pioneers have. You want to see Catalyst be on the offensive. Push this back to a 2-cap lead. Build something comfortable going into the last 5 minutes. Precision trying to do just that, but he has to trade. Not a trade you want to have with the heat wave and the thrust in your hand, but a good job by Pioneers to flush out him of their base. The rest of Catalyst are pink side of the map, and they're getting removed because JK is apparently just on fire. Not a ton of kills to his name, but that was a big 2.
Just trading blows here. Finally, we see a flag, though, thanks to Piggy. Going in, he'll take it through car side. We'll see how far he gets with it. He's got teammates to help him with the escort, too, but here comes the pressure. 2 dynamos down. Enough to do some damage, but is it enough to keep the flag in play? JK, he's got a perfect opportunity to just rip straight through enemy lines. 3 dead, though. JK last up. They're going to get to that touch, and I love this play at a JK to delay this as long as possible. Gets out of the fight. He is a line of defense. His efforts here would be just to slow the flag long enough to get an overextension, but he's deleted immediately. Peggy still going huge here. He drops a trade for the second kill. I think that gave his team just enough space to plant this one in. That would be 3-1 here for Catalyst. As you say, yeah, they get the cap, but now what?
They pushed in from bridge into their closet. They tried to get the right timing. Unfortunately, they have the timing to eat their grenade. It's predicted by the members of Pioneers, and now a counter cap opportunity that looks very realistic as Druck is all the way at his base. So you made it a 2-cap game. Unfortunately, getting average trying to get back into your closet is exactly how this game gets back to a 1-cap game in Catalyst's favor. Now's time starting to work in their favor, I would say. Maybe not just yet, but when you see 3 minutes on the clock, every single kill starts to add up a little bit. Every single kill resets another timer that potentially works in your favor. So we'll see how Catalyst are able to do. Trades are going to help, but unfortunately it's a 3-1 trade on the side of Pioneers, and you can already see Manny trying to get into the back of the base, block spawns, and potentially get this game-tying flag on the move.
Manny's been moving this game, by the way, too. Every time he watches POV, he's always looking for that flank into flag. The kill leader, 20 on the board as well for him as well. Collect looking to catch up and tie that. He's 18, maybe make it 19 as he does trade with that fight. But once again, the trade's going to continue. Not quite enough to get a guaranteed flag out here. Precision doing what he can to lock down 2. Not going to get it. Just trading blows here, Wes.
Such a great job continuously by Catalyst to somehow get these returns that just seem so difficult. They get the slays so many times, but like we have been talking about the whole time, it feels like it's only a matter of time for things to not go in their way, and this could be it. That was 4 dead. Piggy's coming off respawn. Alex Shock, he's coming off respawn. Piggy, he's spotted out, taken down to no shield. They're all going to be pink side of the map. Not the most favorable position to be trying caught, and there's going to be a player bottom middle that stops the flag from being run, and that player just made one hell of a play to deny this one. Multiple no shield players right in front of, I believe it was JK there. He's not able to find any of them. I guess it was Druck. And in the meantime, Kyle Groovy has found camo, so this should be another return going through. This looks like a guaranteed cap at one point for Pioneers if they just stay alive and finish that one overextender, but I couldn't tell who it was, but that player made a play. It may have been Alex Shock.
I'm not sure who got to that flag, though.
Not even coming through,
exactly.
Though.
That's going in. That's a tie game.
How?
Thanks to the execution from Pioneers, and that's what I'm trying to figure out. How did that happen, right? Because that flag was just about returned, but somebody touched it. Somebody desperate at out center managed to get the touch to keep it in play, and then the remaining spawners came up and won their fights, and they're still doing that. Druck will pick up another tie game here with 1 minute on the board. Now, the unfortunate reality for this one, Wes, is it's not going to go to OT, based off the game, so we'll have to figure out how that one goes if we get there, but this 1 minute crucial, of course.
crucial for both team success. And you see Catalyst, they got a flag, they got a pull. Kyle Groovy gets a double, but Collect thrusts back, gets the assassination. 3 dead for Catalyst. And they want to end this one here and now. 40 seconds. They're not going to have overtime to work with, like you said. So,
yeah.
How do they play this one?
Oh my, JK.
Wait a minute. JK, how is he not spotted?
dead.
How is he not being looked at? 25 seconds. You got to get the flag on the move because the pie chart, it's not going to exist this time around. The UI is not going to read.
Oh my.
But this is a game-winning cap. Kills coming through. 12 seconds. Manny's got it on the bridge. Manny's running it in to put a punctuation on the grand finals. Pioneers somehow do it with 5 seconds left. They're able to win game 3 to sweep the grand finals, to sweep the whole tournament. This version of Pioneers looked phenomenal, and you had to think that that was going to be the case with the additions of JK and Collect, how well they're playing. But hats off to those boys. Catalyst, they were good but not great, and you can see they need to be a little bit sharper if they want to compete with some of the world's best.
For sure. Just, wild, though, that Pioneers would find a way to escape what would have been, I don't know what that would have been, Wes. Like, we would have had to, I guess, maybe come back for a 1-flag overtime if that didn't happen. I'm not sure how JK lived in that situation, by the way. He had a teammate with him to, I guess, help crossfire, and that was enough to keep that one player caught mid back and not in the fight. But JK, I mean, with just a sliver of health, they didn't go down and look at him. He got that free melee with the sidekick as well. 3 dead in quick succession, and that's a painful spot to be in if you're Catalyst. So just unbelievable, I guess, teamwork and play at the end of that to lock it out. Pioneers, they had that dominance, I think, throughout the first 2 games. Catalyst gave us a show towards the end. It just wasn't enough to put anything on the board for that one, Wes.
Not the best I feel like we've seen from Catalyst, but obviously a very full plate to try and deal with there as they're playing against one of the hottest players in the circuit right now in Collect. We saw what he was able to do to Cloud9 yesterday. It's tough, but you continue to see moments of good things from these guys. I'm excited to see more of them as they continue their journey. It never happens overnight unless you're, sniped down or Pistola, but
sure. Even then, right now,
even then, behind the scenes, there were many nights they spent grinding away,
right,
trying to become champions. It's that success story that happened overnight, I guess, is like you go from 0 to 100. So maybe not the case for these guys today, but another great showing from them. Strong showing from Collect and Pioneers, and I'm looking forward to seeing Pioneers continue to perform in Halo Infinite. Good things there. Collect with SSG. And JK, he is one of those talents that I really feel like needs to find a home in order to take that next step. So,
right.
A lot of different directions for everybody. It's always a different story with each player, but it's positive to see them collectively come together and have success today.
Completely agree. Like you said, JK finding his way onto a lot of the right teams, I think. He's, peeking into those rosters. Definitely seeing the progress there. Collect, I think the biggest thing we notice is when his team is playing well, the man is dominating, right? When they're in sync, when it's looking good. I mean, you look at Aquarius CTF back yesterday, 42, 43 kills. It's when they're not playing well, when they are under pressure, what can Collect do to be that difference maker to bring things back? And that's where the opening comes in. And that's the beauty of Esports Arena is, to give these players those spotlights, the experience to, to find those early victories and hopefully carry that into Pro Series. Either way, a hell of a tournament today, Wes. Always a pleasure casting it with you, as usual. I can't wait for more coming up. ESA always has more tournaments like this, by the way, if you're just tuning in. We've got Monday and Friday every single week. Monday is an open tournament, 1 grand down. Friday, exhibition, opportunity for ESA Red, ESA Blue to face some top caliber competition or to get, knocked out. That's just kind of the beauty of Halo. And then, of course, $500 over to Pioneers today as well. But that's it for our show. Both myself and Wes will sign off. We'll send it back to Yeso. He's going to close it out.
Have a good weekend.
I will have a good weekend. You as well, Clutch and Shyway. A pleasure to listen to both of those gentlemen. So much fun. I get to start my week with Shyway, Clutch, Tony, and all the boys, and end it as well. So it's always a great time and a good way to just bookend a solid week of work here. Of course, the Pioneers come out on top. They're able to bounce back. Rough start on that CTF game in game number 3. Of course, unfortunate with some of the disconnects there, but once we're finally able to get everybody back together, Pioneer is able to get that mental reset, and they came in looking really strong, run it back, take the 3-0 over Catalyst. Of course, Catalyst, giving them all they could handle really across kind of the 2 iterations there of Game 3, and still some work to do for that roster, but they still looked really good. But KCP taking care of business, Collect, Manny, the whole squad looking really solid, and they have earned that $500 here today. That is going to close the week, though, for us here at Esports Arena and Series Z. I hope you guys enjoyed it all. Of course, we'll be back next week with a full slate. We got Apex, we got Halo, everything going on. And, of course, it'll all start Monday afternoon at 4 p.m. Pacific time right here at twitch.tv/esportsarena. So make sure you're here and ready to go for all of that fun stuff. Have a great weekend, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for coming to hang out for myself, the entire live broadcast crew, and everybody here at Esports Arena. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.